Got untouchable empire, baby.
It's time to do.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another untouchable super panel. I hope you had a great week. Today we will have to be discussing, obviously, some things that transpired through this week outside of the issues, the conversations we have on relationships, which will be on Men Are Protectors. We will be bringing in our guest today, who will be Tom Foolery, Sarah the Raging Tomato, my brother Marte, the one and only, Athena, Mr. Fantastic, the Powered Dusty. I wish you put your name up there, my brother, but I mean, I'll call you how you want to be called. And your one and only Team Fatty. A lot of y'all are asking questions on why Ali is going to be hosting a lot of times this upcoming weeks. It's because I'm taking over and Fatty is no longer the priority. So I hope y'all are comfortable with that. And hopefully we have a great show today. I'm asking we be intentional. We have a good faith conversation, not talk over each other, and say exactly how you feel. Without disrespecting each other and turn into ad hominems. Fatty, you have anything to clear outside of that?
I'm just here so I don't get fined. Thank you very much.
So, the very first question we will be asking is: should Americans put their life on the line for foreign ones? We can start with Marte and come all the way around to Athena. Should Americans put their life on the line for foreign ones?
And by the way, let me put the picture next to it so y'all can see what we're talking about. Okay. As you guys see, there was a little bit of a commotion. Ukrainian woman got stabbed and unfortunately passed away. And there was a lot of people did the damn, but didn't do nothing. So we're going to see what you guys think about this. Go ahead, Tina.
No, it's supposed to be Marte first.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I was distracted. Fuck you, Marte.
Yeah, I think we have a duty. Somebody could have ran and stopped the blood or held the neck or something. Nothing happened. And that's problematic. If you have people just standing by, and I'm not saying that anybody could have stopped the stabbing that happened. It happened too fast. Nobody could have jumped in. It's unrealistic. But for people to sit down and not stop, hold the neck, the carotid artery, or do anything, they were basically slow to intervention, let alone slow to aid or assist. I think that's very problematic. I totally understand the societal norms of us not helping women out because we're not getting anything in return. But when it comes to these situations, the aftermath, that's the problem that I have with nobody stepped in afterwards. After it happened, there was no after action, no effort to stop this. It was almost like everybody was tone deaf. It just numb. They didn't do anything. It's like they saw this movie 1,000 times. I've seen a woman bleed out. And there was like nothing. There was no compassion for a fellow human being that was bleeding out. That's the problem that I have. I'll just leave it at that.
How about you, Sarah?
Yeah, I could be agreeable with Marte as well. I think inevitably correct. In this very particular instance, there was nothing anybody could do to stop what already happened from happening. That is true. That is fact. Nobody could have intervened on that moment. However, the after effect was a very disturbing imagery. Nobody even shell-shocked, nobody looking over, nobody concerned, nobody gasping, and instead they just sat there and kept to themselves and completely ignored the entire situation and as it was happening. And I think that is disturbing. I don't think it's a matter of should Americans step in to help foreigners. I think it's just a matter of should one neighbor stand in to help the other. In this instance, that's exactly what that was.
Okay. How about you, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, I think that whether somebody's foreign or not, I don't really care. I think people are people. Human life is human life. We should always do what we can. Though from the videos that I saw, everybody waited for the killer to be a safe distance away. And then they did immediately run over and help her. There's a guy with his, I think his shirt wrapped around her neck. There's a group of people standing around looking like they're praying, very concerned about her. But if you watch the video, the guy, after he stabs her, is walking around, just kind of like pacing rampantly. If you guys ever see like the rules, if you ever been on a plane, they say that if you have kids, make sure that you put your mask on first, and then you can help your kids put their masks on. If there's some crazy person walking around with a knife, you don't want to jump up and get in the way to where you're going to get killed too, to where you're not able to help the other person. You wait until he's a safe distance away, and then you go help that person. And that seems like what they did. But on top of that, you couldn't even tell that she was stabbed at first. Like, most people didn't even seem to know what had happened. It didn't even seem as though she knew what happened until she fell over onto the ground, and pretty soon people ran over and helped her.
Okay, how about you, Athena?
So when I watched the first picture that I saw was actually the one that y'all put up originally so that people knew what we were talking about. And that picture makes it look really bad. When I actually watched the video in full, I really don't think anyone knew what happened. And I was looking at the trail of blood. It wasn't from the guy, from the knife, from the weapon. It wasn't a whole lot. So I don't think that people really knew what had happened. I do think that people just try to get away from situations instead of assisting. They would rather either not be bothered or not be harmed themselves. And I think that goes to the fact that we don't have a big sense of community. Now, as far as helping people, we should help people regardless of where they're from. If they're in front of us and they're in immediate danger, we should assist. And there's no way to tell that she's from Ukraine just by looking at her. She just looks like an average person. So there would be no way for someone to be like, well, this isn't my people, so I'm not going to assist her. They have no idea that she wasn't, a citizen. But yeah. That's a
good point. How about you, Mr. Fantastic?
Yeah, man. In this context with that, yeah, I think it's I think Marte probably gave the best thing. Actual intervention during the fiasco, I can halfway understand, even though I think most people, if you saw somebody in the act of getting, assaulted or shot or stabbed or whatever, at the very least, of not physically intervening, bringing to people's attention. But most importantly, like you said, the aid after the fact, I think that was the problem. And what made it so crazy was it was two women that got up and left, right? A man had to come away from another train car, I believe, or way further up. Someone followed the blood trail from where he was bleeding to figure out what had happened to her. So she literally had people that had, I'm not going to say witnessed or understood what was going on, but they saw her bleeding, and instead of doing aid, they just ran off.
Right. No, I agree with you. How about you, Dusty?
Well, I guess I'll be the only one that thinks that what Marte said is completely bitch made. It doesn't matter what nationality somebody is, and it doesn't matter if you notice Marte said they didn't get anything. You can understand men not defending women because they don't get anything in return, which is the complete bitch made part of it. You defend somebody because it's the right thing to do, because you're a man, right? Not because you expect them to give you a free pizza coupon to Domino's after or something. So I think that I didn't watch the video. I intentionally didn't watch it because I don't like rage bait content. But no, I think that answer is bitch made, and that you should help people mostly just because you're a person and that's the right thing to do. I don't think it needs to go any deeper than that.
Before we get to Mr. Fatty, Marte, you like the rebuttal, man?
Yeah, I'm going to rebuttal this. I was referring to the societal norm that we have in saying to obfuscate and go away from this societal norm. I was acknowledging that societally we have a norm to say, hey, I'm not going to help and go away from this. I was actually objecting to the societal norm. So when you say it's bitch made, it doesn't really.
And I apologize for misunderstanding what you said. I thought you said the opposite of what you apparently did.
I need you to listen next time I'm talking. Okay.
Well, okay, now it's back in place. This is bitch made.
Yeah, go ahead. Fatty, next.
Well, I love the love on the panel, boy. Go ahead, Fatty.
So I have a song to sing to y'all, okay? I am a real American. Fight for the rights of every man. My view changed since I got here. I'm the citizen of the universe type of person, right? If the aliens come through, as long as they're nice, I'm nice to them. But y'all Americans taught me that America first. Like, other people's lives don't matter as long as USA is winning. Fuck the Ukrainians, fuck the Palestinians, fuck Fatty, fuck the Portuguese, fuck everybody. So, uh, uh I think our life matters a lot. Actually, I truly believe that a life is a life, no matter where the DNA lottery lands you on this planet. So sorry that that happened to that woman. She didn't deserve that. And actually, and Tom sent me a picture of it. She was actually helped. She wasn't helped immediately because people didn't know what was the relationship between her and the man, right? A lot of times people don't meddle because they don't know if those people are fighting because they know each other. We have all the context. We know that those people are strangers. We have no idea what they're going through, but a lot of times we might think this is a boyfriend and a girlfriend. This is a co-worker situation, and people mind their business because they don't know what the relationship is. And a lot of times we know the person that puts himself in the middle usually gets the worst part of the deal. So I think this is the new uh, way. Okay, no man protecting woman, no people put themselves in harm's way because somebody's in distress. People wait for the smoke to clear and then go to the rest of the situation and help. So that's what happened, and unfortunately, she passed away. But there's no more uh, white horses and all that. Actually, it still happens because that's our nature. But for the most part, this is a new society where people mind their business, and there's nothing you can tell people. You can tell them that they're wrong because those people have a family to come home to. And if your husband or your wife lost their life because they tried to meddle in something they had no business in, and now you have some kids that don't have a parent because he tried to be a superhero, you would feel some type of way. So these people had families to come home to. They did what they needed to do.
Can I
It is
put a
what it is.
hypothetical out there?
Absolutely.
What if those, what was it, 4 or 5 people sitting around her, I
Yes.
believe?
Mhm.
What if all, let's presume 5, okay? What if all 5 people, as soon as they saw her collapsing in that seat, stood up and went to her aid? And if that crazy man turned around and came back to say, like, oh, no, you're going to let her,
Yes.
complete the process of dying. I'm trying to be mindful of my words here. And there were 5, let's see, I think 4 grown ass men and 1 woman. Do you think that man would have felt the need to shut that down? For instance, if there were 4 giant men standing there in front of that young girl, and one of them going to her aid at the very least, do you think he would have continued the process?
I think he wouldn't do it
Against,
on the first. I think he wouldn't do it on the first place. Because if you notice, it targeted the smallest person in the area, and he probably look around. Even though he's schizophrenic, and those people are crazy. A lot of times when predators attack, they don't attack the biggest man in the room. They go
Right.
at the easiest prey.
We call it to know
Right.
who to be
So,
crazy with. They
He
know
was
they know
also-
the degree of crazy.
so my point
But
is
he was
that
also
if
the
all
biggest person
5,
there, though.
but if all 5 of those people stood up and said, no, we're going to help her and you're going to go away. If 5 people stood up and said that, more than likely, he probably wouldn't have tried to chime in on that. He would have just walked away.
Well, yeah, well, no, he
I don't
wasn't.
think
He
that
had
you're
no-
thinking
he
that
had
in the
no-
moment, though. And normally, if you want somebody to die and the person is trying to kill somebody, normally you're thinking, okay, the person with a weapon right here, right now, if I try to stop them from doing what it is that they're trying to have go to completion, then I'm now somebody who's in danger as well. I think in the moment, that's what most people would think is he wants this person to die. If I try to stop them from dying, he's going to come after me too.
Yeah, but
But
the thing
there's
was in the
5
situation.
people.
Just real quick.
Sorry.
Just real quick.
Go
So yeah, the thing was though he walked off. So he wasn't there. He had no intentions of staying
So
there
he was.
to see anything through.
No, if you watch, he's right there.
He
He's
wandered
pacing right
for
there.
like 20,
He's-
30
he's,
seconds,
like,
and then he
feet
walked
away.
off. It was like, yes, he started wandering for 20, 30 seconds. It was back and forth, and then he bounced. That's when the
And
other
it looks
people
like he
started,
cut
well,
himself as well, because
yes.
he's
Like
like
that's the blood. Yeah, the
dripping
blood was his.
all
So
over
the blood,
place.
the blood was his blood that was trickling down that thing, and that's what I said. I don't think, especially the people further up the train, and I don't know if it was men back there in the car he was in, but the two people definitely beside him closest were women, right?
It was
As
a
a man,
woman. So
oh man,
basically, so this is what happened, right? She started bleeding on the other side. So they are confused. Like she's looking up, and the people around are confused because they have no idea what's going on. And the weapon that he has, I don't even see it on the video. I don't know if
that's a
that
little
was a
pocket knife.
scissor
Mhm.
or a blade or something
Yeah,
like that.
I didn't even have. So like
Prior
I saw
prior
the
to
blur version.
him prior to him standing up right there, you can see him with the little pocket knife, like
Yeah, he
So it's
opened it
like
up.
one of
opening it up.
the
Yeah,
pocket knife. Okay.
but I didn't. So the blurred video, it didn't even. I couldn't even see the back person. I just thought it was two people. I didn't know it was three. So I guess when they blurred the one I saw, made it seem like it was only two, not three.
No, there was three
There's 4
people
people.
there. There was three
Yeah.
people there. Yes.
Are you
And,
I'm almost positive it's 4 people. There's another.
Oh, it's
There's
4. That's
2
even
guys.
crazier.
Yeah, I think there was 4.
Are there-
I thought it
There's
was
one
4 or
behind him too?
5.
so there's
There's
3
another
right
one behind
here,
him.
and there's
Yeah.
another one behind him. Okay.
Oh, somebody
Yeah.
behind him too.
Oh, okay. The one behind him when he stands up and he goes like
Looks
I
like
guess-
long hair in the
So the
glass.
video, I think. So yeah, the video I saw just zoomed in on him and her, and
Hmm.
then it zoomed out as the what's the name. So like I said, yeah, I had no idea she was surrounded by that many people.
Can I ask difficult questions, friends? Why is this a racial issue when everybody agrees that this man should rot in hell? She should be hanged in front of. Like, why is this white person, black person, when even black people agree that this situation was egregious and he should actually pay for it? Go ahead, Marte. Go ahead, Marte. Go ahead, Marte. Marte, tell us why. And I
Because
want
of
to hear from-
outcomes. The reason why is because of outcomes. Whenever you have a white person shoot up a school or do something like this specifically out, that's egregious out in public. Now you have this perception that they're either a terrorist or something like this. Like there was some intention behind it. But whenever anybody with any bit of melanin in their skin does something, oh, they're mentally unstable, or it was a mental health issue. This is a constant thing. This is a pattern in society that we see right now. Not only is this
Marte, don't do that to us, Marte.
it's true, it's a pattern. I'm not lying.
Marte,
You guys
that's
know
no.
this.
No,
No,
Let's
it's
talk.
true.
One second.
Anytime something happens, this is always
Marte,
the case.
let's talk with each other.
When's the last time there was
Marte.
a black terrorist? It's never a terrorist when it's
No,
black.
Marte, this man is not a terrorist.
But you're
He's
talking about.
When I'm
Yes, you're talking about somebody on a bus, on a train who just randomly stabs somebody versus somebody who plans things out, gathers a bunch of weapons, gathers a bunch of like extra cartridges and everything, and then goes to a school, tries to kill a bunch of people. And obviously that person has a lot more intentionality in what it is that they're doing. And there's a lot more reason to believe that there might be political reasoning behind that besides a guy who just randomly stabs somebody.
It's never a terrorist when it's a black guy doing stuff, but how come it's always a terrorist when a white guy's doing stuff?
That's not true. First off, you say black guy, but jihadists are accused of.
Marte, let us answer. Let us answer. We are not terrorists. We are thugs, right? We are not terrorists because we are thugs. That's the mantra. If a black person kills another black person, he's just a thug. If I do a drive-by, I'm a thug. I'm not a terrorist because y'all don't categorize me as terrorism. Y'all don't do it. So the person that is doing
gang violence is not terrorism. Gang violence is different from terrorism because terrorism has to do with like political or ideological reasoning. It's like a political or religious. And so when it's gang violence, obviously it's just literally not terrorism. It's not related. But if a brown person does something, almost every single time a brown person does something, it is automatically assumed that it's terrorism because they're thought that they're jihadists or something like that as well.
And Marte, Marte, 1 second before I respond. Marte, before you respond, can we be honest that that's a massive projection, sir? Every time a brown person, no, 1 second. The mentally ill shit is reserved to white people. Every time a white person goes and shoots up the school, everybody's, even today they started to do it. They were on a war, and as soon as they knew he was white, oh, he looks like he come from good parents. Oh, it was this college that kind of indoctrinate him. What was the reasons? The same thing happened with the guy that killed the CEO. Everybody wants to know his background. Everybody wants to know why this little boy that looks. this is what white people usually get, is the benefit of the doubt, because the other dude was actually mentally ill. He was schizophrenic, diagnosed by the doctor. This is not us speculating. The other dude was schizophrenic. We know the reason why he's doing it, because he's a crazy person. So
But is
how do
this
you
the
know?
first?
If this
Oh,
was
sorry.
George Floyd, this was George Floyd. We saw what happened with that. Now look at this case. This is a completely different outcome.
Wait. Who called George Floyd mentally ill?
If the race was different, this would be a whole different outcome.
No.
They would put this guy underneath the jail. Not only that,
Be more specific. No. Be more specific.
down.
Marte,
They burned down the city.
Marte,
Go
you
ahead.
have to breathe. You have to breathe. So you think this guy is not going to literally get the death penalty or life in jail?
No, the reaction by the public is different. They would have burned down cities if it would have
And
been.
that's your fault. No, one second.
race.
I got you. So
Right.
why? One second. Why is I'm going to take my glasses off?
Mhm.
I will say this. I will say this, right? Most people that riot because of George Floyd were white people. Can we all agree with that?
That still proves my point.
No,
Always, most of the time.
Marte, I got you 1 second. How is black people's fault that white people don't go on a rampage every time a white person dies? Like, because these white people that are mobilizing, like, for example, during the George Floyd incident, during COVID and Europe, like here, people actually took this shit seriously. There was manifestations, not manifestations, what the word is in English? It was like in Portugal, in Spain, in France, in the United Kingdom. My question is, if y'all are not Twitter warriors, because that's what you are, this is what y'all are, Twitter warriors that keep saying it's time to do something, it's time to go to war.
I'm sorry, I don't know if that's true that most of the rioters were white. I'm pretty sure most of the protesters were white. I think most of the people,
not rioters, the people that were on the street, the people that were marching, no justice, no peace, right? If you can mobilize your own people, why is it black people's fault or the left fault? Why are the people on the right the only people that actually mobilize and go to the streets are the far right with the tiki torches? No, just like the you will not replace us. Like, why can y'all actually put your money where your mouth is and go to the streets and do what you promised to do all the time? We're going to make sure this doesn't happen. Why didn't you do it?
Are you purposely playing devil's advocate right now? Because we know if that was a sister that would have got stabbed, guess what would have happened? Oh, shit would have been burning down. It would have been cars.
Why don't you do it?
Hold on, no, that's not true at all. Because every time the protests started up, all the protests were over the fact that people weren't getting arrested. Like the George Floyd one, when Derek Chauvin wasn't arrested, he didn't have anything happen. He wasn't even on like a suspension or anything. Like all of these things happen when the guy in Atlanta, also Ahmaud Arbery, nobody got arrested in that one as well. Like people were protesting over the fact that literally nobody's getting arrested. But every time some like white kid gets killed by a black person, everybody's like, oh, why isn't anybody protesting? Because they literally got fucking arrested right after. This guy got arrested. Everybody knows that they're gonna get arrested. There's no.
That doesn't matter. 1 second. Yeah. We get it. I just want to hear from y'all. If you are on Twitter sitting like Venom, like you're drooling, we're going to do something. Why isn't the right and half of the country, literally half of the country, the people that have more arms, the people that have more guns, the people that are actually involved, why are white people so loud on Twitter, on Reddit, on every social media? But for example, yesterday, somebody said, we are going to have a demonstration in Miami, White Lives Matter, and nobody show up. Like, why is this? Why can the right
we all work?
You mean nobody burned down shit? Proves my point even more, fatty?
No, because there's nothing to protest. That's why. Because as I just said, when they're protesting the fact that nobody got arrested, they actually have something to protest. When this guy actually got arrested, there's nothing to protest.
So can I counter? So just real quick, can I counter his point, that wasn't why they were rioting, bro. They didn't riot because nobody got arrested. They rioted because he got killed on camera, and they were so
Well,
incensed.
I said protesting, but no, they did protest because nobody got arrested. That
we're
is
not,
why
we're
the
not talking
demands-
about the protests. We're talking about the riots. So
okay,
the
I didn't make a
protesters-
comment about the riots, so I
Okay,
didn't
wait,
make a
listen,
comment
we're
about
fo-
why
so-
they
so
rioted. I
no
said
one-
why they protested.
Yeah, I got you. So no one minds the protests because the protests, like, peaceful protests, are cool and fine. Nobody loses
But
anything.
that was Fatty's
nobody
point:
dies.
is why didn't they go out and protest that White Lives Matter? He didn't say why didn't anybody riot.
Well,
over
I
the fact
think
that White Lives Matter.
they tried that with the Carmelo Anthony thing, and I think white people just for the most part, it's too many of them that aren't on the fringe. So you have extremists on both ends and sides. The extremists that would be doing the fucking tiki torch shit, and the extremists that would be doing the leftist shit are just very, very few and far in between. So that's what I'm saying. The last time the right thing was the what was it, the Virginia thing, right? Have we had another right wing? And then on top of it, the right wings are the only ones gonna get fucking prosecuted. They locked up the Proud Boys. Proud Boys locked up.
Well, there were more people who were there were a ton of people who were charged for the BLM riots, and they had longer convictions than average for anybody at January 6th. That look at the federal charges. They're federal. I can send you links as well. I'll put it in the private chat. There are the average time for convictions for BLM riots was much longer. The average time for people at January 6th, 3 months. Average.
Well, did any of those people have prior issues, prior rap sheets?
I don't know, but that's the point, though, is that people like that
I
would
think
matter.
that is the
But
point, Tom. You have to look at the J6 offenders are like your average American.
But not even that. Let's look at sheer numbers. So just compare it in comparison to hundreds of thousands of people, tens of thousands of people, to what, maybe 100 people. So is that fair? I mean, I promise you this: by 90% of the J6ers, even people that were in the vicinity, were fucking prosecuted and had to take plea deals and got fucking.
They didn't. No, they didn't. There were almost 50,000 people there. There weren't even 2,000 arrests. What are you talking about?
50,000? Hold up, bro. 50,000 in the Capitol? Are you insane?
No, no, on private property at the Capitol, breaking through barriers.
Let's not be.
Oh, I'm sorry. Fighting through barriers where cops were standing and being part of the mob that's beating the shit out of cops and grabbing them.
So we know where you're coming from. Right? Yeah, we know where you're coming from now. So great. So again, I'm gonna say this again, right? So let's say it was 50,000 people. I guess we're gonna count everybody that was at the fucking rally now as a J6er. But let's just do that. How many people? Hold on. How many people? Hold on.
Let me clarify the numbers. 56 attended, 2,000 actually went to the Capitol. So that's
wow, thank you.
Inside,
and I promise you this, it wasn't 2,000 people that rushed the Capitol were inside the Capitol.
No, hold on. There were over 100,000 at the protest. 50,000 went onto private property and were rushing.
Everybody was already on private property.
No, they weren't. I just said 100,000 protesters. That means half of them were not on private property. Half of them were there peacefully protesting.
Because of the vicinity and because of the capacity of the fucking area. What are you talking about?
Yeah, so fantastic. 1 second.
You have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. You literally have no fucking idea what you're talking about. They literally had zones for them to protest in. They had areas for them. There's videos of Alex Jones telling everybody to go back off of the private property because we are not violent. We are not like Antifa.
So I can clarify. 2,000 to 2,500 actually entered the Capitol. So these 2,000 people entered the Capitol. So they were actually inside of the thingy. It's just to make sure. But how is that relevant? Because I forgot what you guys talking about.
So the whole point is this, right? So let's say the 2,500. Let's just make it 50,000. How many people were involved in burning the fucking country down during BLM?
7.
No, it's a serious question. I'm guessing.
I know. I can actually look for it, but there's you are not.
So my point is this. So out of those 2,500 people, the majority of those people got charges. They were fucking tracking people down just for even the people that walked in and walked back out or whatever and didn't do anything violent. Okay, I don't know why you're shaking your head. This is
But that's
This
kind
is
of
very convenient. It's very, very convenient that you're limiting just to the people who went inside the Capitol when every single one of those people who went past the barriers should have been charged with treason. Every single one of them should have been in prison for their lives. And they got pardons.
Let's go with
Nobody at BLM got pardons.
still
All
not
those
answering
January
the
6ers got
question.
pardons for this shit. And the fucking terrorists got
You're still
pardoned
not
by
answering
Donald
my
Trump.
question. So I'm gonna ask you
10,000
again.
arrests.
Listen to me this time. So I'm gonna ask you a question again. Now give me the numbers of participants that were involved in the BLM riots that burnt down the fucking country. Give me the numbers.
Fantastic. They don't have
If
numbers.
the country was burnt down, I was unaware of this. I'm sorry. I must have missed that one.
They don't have numbers, but there was 10,000 arrests on the riots, on the George Floyd riots.
Okay, so 10,000 arrests
there were
all
more
over the
all over the country.
entire country. Over the entire country. And does it give you a percentage of the people that was actually prosecuted, not just charged? Because it's funny how he purposely said charged, and we know the one of the biggest.
No. I said federal charges had longer because you're misrepresenting what I said. I said they had longer convictions.
Well,
I
you
didn't
said
just say
charged, and then you said two separate things. So my bad. So your continuation was the thing, but clearly you're not saying everyone that was charged was convicted, correct?
Correct.
All right, then. So that's the point I'm focusing on. It's when you talk about charge, and we know when it come in comparison, the vast majority of people, almost, I would say at least 80% of those people, the 2,500 that stepped across the Capitol without a doubt that you wasn't, they were prosecuted and convicted, not even given a chance. Plea deal, take it, or your ass going up against the United States government. The people that even burnt down fucking federal buildings and courthouses and things were charged, arrested, and let go.
Because it's something more serious, right? Fantastic. Me going and burning Burger King is not the same thing as me burning
other federal courthouses in states too. Fatty.
Can I ask how we got from
we moved to go
person? Yeah, we were way out of and I'm sorry, Ali. I don't mean to.
You're absolutely right. No, there you're right.
We're so far out of scope because this is one individual hurting another, and we've moved all the way to riots where we already know violence and crime are
races.
Right. Well,
right, but
so Sarah, Tina, and Ali, why can you guys answer the question? Why white people that are on the right don't look like they mobilize as well as people on the left? Why, like we see the both sides on Twitter being as loud as each other? It looks like something is going to happen, but they never mobilize. If he's not the extremist, why is the people that are on the right side that are not? Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I'll answer it after Sarah and Athena. I'll answer it.
Can you say? I'm sorry. Can you say that question one more time?
Yes. Is why, like we see every time something happens, the lefties and the liberals and the progressive, all of them run to the streets. No matter if it's one of them, is all of them, right? But then you see the right people, the people on the right, not the extremists, because the extremists mobilize well too. But the people on the right, they are very vocal. We are not going to take it anymore. Every time somebody on the right posts a tweet, there's 10,000 people say, yeah. And then they can mobilize each other to go to the streets and to do the same protest as the left.
I answered this question earlier because we're at work.
Oh, the lefties are unemployed?
The thing of it is we have consequences. We have family. We have things that are on the line. We have our jobs. We have all of this stuff. And we're watching this live right now with the left who are posting, celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. I think it's absolutely disgusting, but they're posting this stuff and you see them actually losing their jobs, right? They have no mental capacity for the idea of there are future consequences for my actions, right? And we're watching that in live time happen right now. Whereas I think I would assume, just based on what I'm seeing and what I can observe from like people like me, so on and so forth, we have things that are at stake. We have our legacy, we have our children, we have our family, we have our jobs, we have our like our friends, our communities. We take that very seriously. We don't just throw shit out just to go like riot the streets and yell at people and hold signs up. We take that very seriously.
So y'all are.
If that's the case, then why are somebody on the right?
So y'all, now a second, because I have to throw a shot back. So y'all are admitting that y'all are keyboard or warriors. Y'all talk shit on Reddit and
No,
on Twitter. Yeah, you guys are going. And
No,
then,
what I'm saying is there are actual proper protocols and procedures to lobbying and getting things that you want to see happen. You want to see change. There's actual proper ways and channels to do that. Going and rioting in the streets and breaking shit and causing a ruckus and burning shit down and harming people is not the way to do it.
unless you're
Yeah, but
calling
that wasn't the
Unless they're
dichotomy that was given.
unless they're
You
calling
gave it like
you mean
going
that
outside versus having a job, and one side is currently calling for war and saying that it's time for war, and it's all of the largest content creators all across the right. Whereas every time we get an example of somebody on the left, it's some like 15-year-old TikToker who's celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. But there's no like big content creators or big name. There's no big there's no
What's the view say?
representatives of the left who are doing this, but the representatives on the right are all across the board calling for fucking war.
Didn't they
right
fire
now.
somebody at NBC for insensitive comments?
Yes, and Steven Crowder literally said the same exact thing the next day. Yes, like it's a norm on the right, whereas on the left they fire people for that. Whereas on the right, it's what's expected.
They made the compilation of 300 and something accounts, like accounts with big followings, saying we're not going to take it. We have to fight. This is war.
Elon Musk is on there too.
Yeah, and this is what happened, right? Like the tweets happen. It looks like the civil war is going to happen, and then is instead of it, like. It's not happening. I'm glad that it's not happening. I'm glad that it's not happening because I actually agree with Sarah, right? People will be hypocrites if they were against the BLM riots and then went ahead and break and do everything. But why the talk is so heavy and then it's pew pew is like what is the water guns? What is the
Super soaker?
Super soaker.
Ooh, right? You know what? If we just had a big water gun fight, we could solve or pillow fight. We could solve all these issues.
And the woman shouldn't wear no bras while we do that.
And white t-shirts, no bras.
White t-shirt. Let's go, Sarah.
Everybody gets along just fine.
Did we just solve civil unrest?
Titties will help like both sides will and will say that way.
This is I like the way Sarah thinks.
Both sides like titties. The men on the right and the women on the left. Everybody likes titties.
There you go.
Titty saves lives.
Until the trends show up. Athena and
Ali.
Okay, so there was a study that actually showed that Democrats and liberals are more likely to be on prescription medications. They're more likely to need therapy. So I think there's a lot of mental illness on the left. And I think that's a big reason why they go out and riot. I really think the left is mentally ill. And I also want to add, they're also more likely, I'm in the middle of talking. I also want to add that whenever, like what you said, Sarah, like we're working, we're doing things, a lot of Democrats and liberals, they receive the most benefits like SNAP and all these other benefits because they're not working. And idle hands are the work of the devil. You have people who aren't working, who are mentally ill. What do you expect? They're going to go out and fuck shit up.
So it's more so about the dehumanizing of certain people and the lack of justice. Like I can use a particular instance, like Tamir Rice. If a 12-year-old white kid, cops pulled up on a 12-year-old white kid and he was shot, that'd be a big issue in society, and that kid typically would get justice. If you look at Tamir Rice, who was 12 years old and got shot as a child, he didn't get justice. He was dehumanized as well too. If you look at in 1955 when Emmett Till was brutalized by a mass of men for supposedly whistling at a white woman, but the white woman later confessed that that never happened. She lied on him. He still didn't get justice. You look at the history of this country where even children were brutalized by this country. White children were being fed to alligators. Whether if y'all know history or not, they were being fed to alligators. You can Google it. They even had stamps where they would put babies being fed to alligators on stamps historically. So if I can name Eric Garner, I can name Philandro Castro, I can name Sarah Bland, I can name Trayvon Martin, 17-year-old. If you reverse the roles, they'd want that they'd get justice for that white child, 17-year-old white child, if a black man committed murder on him. But I want to ask y'all this, if y'all don't believe that as well. Can you name the five or 10 white men who are unjustifiably committed a crime against, or that police committed brutality against as well too. If y'all saying it's the same both ways, because most of the time when people are rioting, it's because they believe somebody unjustifiably had a crime committed to them. Black people know all the people that need to get committed on crimes. We know who black people that are crazy. Black people don't go, everybody should be freed and everybody should be let go out the prison system. It's the people that we believe is unjustifiably had a crime committed against them. And the same way they would fight for white people as well too. If this situation that happened even with Charlie Kirk, there's a lot more black people saying that regardless if they agree with them or disagree with them, that didn't deserve to happen. Even though you have black people that are saying that I don't care, I'm not empathetic, I don't care about it as well too. But there's a lot of prominent people who are saying, hey, no matter what his beliefs are, he should have not been gunned down. But when I drive down the street, I see the half-staff flags. I see rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. I see people being fired left and right for even speaking on him, white and black. When you have a black person that gets unjustifiably murdered, people don't do the same thing. It's double standard. So no matter what we're saying, if you want to say it has nothing to do with race, it has nothing to do with culture or background, the fact that the Ukrainian woman is sitting on the bus and we don't know her race, and that black man did what he did, we could say, black, if you want to use it, nobody reacted. We can say that we are being desensitized to each other. We're liking each other less. And a lot of times people will talk more to feel good about what's happening in their life rather than taking action for everybody that's human. So we got to be honest about what's happening in our society.
Well, just to be clear, white people are more often, there are way more white people who are unjustly shot by cops, but it is disproportionate for black people. But the number for white people is much, much higher. It happens often. It's just that it doesn't get into the news because it's
right. But without without deflecting, if a black man saw that white man was unjustifiably shot, most black men would say that's wrong. That's the difference. When white people see it, even if you saw it on camera, it has to be investigated. It has to always be investigated. But if you saw what happened to a white man, black men will stick up for white men and say, hey, that's wrong. That's
to an extent, that wasn't the case with O.J. Simpson, because with O.J. Simpson, everybody was happy that he killed his wife, and they were all happy that he got off on it.
No, they were happy he got away with it. No, but Tom, there's the thing, right? Let me say this. White people don't care about each other. Y'all really don't fuck with each other, man. Y'all really don't fuck with each other. Y'all don't go all out to actually fight people because you have to fight your cousin. You have to fight your sister. You have to fight your husband. Like, y'all are actually the fractured side. Like, it went from the trans.
That would apply to black people as well, not fighting black people.
No. But that's the thing. Most violence is intra-violence, right? Black people fight black people. White people fight white people, all that, right?
Yes.
But we talk all the time about gang violence and black-on-black crime. We acknowledge that black people only fuck with each other when there's an external force, either an alien, white people, the oppressor, the colonialism, the British. Right. Like, it's usually like that. I think white people, for whatever reason that I truly can understand, they really don't fuck with each other. And when I say don't fuck with each other, is to the point where you are going to say, we have to do something. We are going to fire these and we are going to do that. And then you will be talking with your cousin that is a progressive Bernie bro that is laughing about this shit in 1 month and nobody will give a fuck about it. Right?
Well, that's true because
I think we're still outside the scope. I mean, it's in this instance, I'm not even looking at it as like, oh, black man killed white girl, right? I'm looking at it as a man killed a woman, and everybody sat and watched after it was done and watched her die and did nothing about it. And they weren't shocked by it. They weren't like, oh my God, how can I, like, nothing. Some of them even got up and walked away. The point is, one person was dying and nobody did anything about it. You can completely remove the.
Well, hold on. One dude did come get render aid, like I said, from the other car. He was delayed.
No, there's not even that. No, fantastic. Don't even. That's cap. Every time black people kill white people, the usual suspects, it didn't do nothing. Oh, like I follow y'all on Twitter. I follow you on Twitter. You are not getting away with the use not racial. Everybody was doing some racial
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, it's
Everybody
definitely
was
racial.
talking about race. Everybody was saying, look at the Beatles suspects doing the same shit again. We are not going to come in front of the cameras and now pretend that we don't make it racial, because it's racial. It's actually racial. And it's not, once again, it's the Ortho Bros, it's Andrew Wilson, it's Rachel Wilson, it's Sarah, it's Athena, it's Fatty, it's Fantastic, it's Marte. Everybody is making it about race. Why can't we actually talk about race openly and pretend that it's not about race, when next time, and I will say this, I was praying, and I don't believe in God. I was like, please not be a black person that killed Charlie Kirk. Please, no.
Me too.
Please.
Me too. That was our Me Too movement. That was our Me Too movement. Please don't let him be black. Please.
Let him be black, please, because my God.
There's only been one black sniper in the history of the United States of America.
It still was blamed on black people though too. Though have you been watching? Like, it's still being blamed on black
Wasn't there
people.
two in DC?
Well, they blamed the
DC
conversation. They
sniper
was talking about, he was talking about gang violence when he got shot. That's the only thing black people keep bringing
But
up.
y'all, before we continue, can you admit if a person is shown on the television that looks Arab, it's a terrorist? And if you show a white man who's a Christian, they're not going to say terrorist. He might he might be deemed a patriot. You're not going to say terrorist. If it's a black person, it's a thug. If it's a white person, it's a suspect. And white people say that was a piece of shit. Like, y'all know what the rhetoric. Every time you see who did the crime, we can walk all the way down and say what the person.
Well,
y'all
you tell
know.
us you're keeping the tabs.
Yeah, well,
You know,
Dusty,
white people. You telling me, Dusty, honestly, if an Arab commits a crime right now, blows up a church, will he be referred to as a terrorist? I'm asking you.
It depends on what you're listening to. There's always going to be people racializing things. There's always going to be people trying to make it something bigger than it is or what it's not. I think that there. I think the only racial component of this situation, the only racial component of this situation is what the guy said. The guy was racially motivated when he killed her. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that I think the whole situation is representative of America, or that we need to make it a bigger racial incident than just the context in which it is racial. Obviously.
No, what I'm asking is, if an Arab does blow up the church, most times he's going to be referred to as a terrorist. But
if he's blowing up a church, probably is a terrorist.
Let me finish. Well, to be consistent, majority of the white Americans or Americans are Christian as well too. So black and white people should be deemed terrorists when they commit crimes, because a lot of us are terrorists.
If they blow up a mosque, they're probably a terrorist.
Come on, hey Dusty, they only do it as propaganda to make Arabs look a certain type of way. Then you got to be consistent and say the white terrorist Christian committed a crime today. The black
How do you know what's propaganda and what's not?
By how it's deemed. If a white kid is looked as a teen and a black kid is still looked as a thug, it's propaganda.
Can you find me an example of a white person blowing up a mosque and them not referring to him as a terrorist?
Let me actually help you. Remember that kid that got McDonald's after he shot up a school? Like, they stopped to go in McDonald's to get him
the church. It wasn't a school.
But I'm looking for
it was a church, right?
Yeah.
Let's just say this. If it was a person that looked like Ali, they look like now. Before the show, I was saying that he, like, with his beard now, the TSA loves him. You're probably going to take your shoes, right? But if it was a person like that looked like Kirk and Ali, that person not stopping at McDonald's. You are the terrorist. You are enemy number one. There was a part, even with the COVID shit. Black people were fucking up Asians left and right. Like, there's a lot of racial hatred in this on your side. And I live in Portugal. You know, Portuguese people did some massive atrocities, right? And there's still racial tension between white people and black people in Portugal from both sides, right? So I think we are being dishonest for the simple fact that people are looking for excuses to fight. Everybody here saw yesterday people saying, I think he's a trans. Oh, shit. Like, if he was a trans, it's over. Like, this is going to escalate to a level that is not just we just talking on panels anymore. It's going to be some violence in the streets. And this is why I said I pray he's not a black person, because we know that we are one incident away from white men that are very fed up because they can't say the N-word, and they get fired, and they get canceled because they're saying something that is extra racist. We know there's a lot of them that are mad.
Right.
Since and this is I'm going to wrap it up with this, right? People are playing dumb. Since Obama, there's some white people that want their league back. And since Trump, there's some black people and liberals that want their league back. Like, the country is divided. In Europe, the same thing. In Brazil, it was Bolsonaro and Lula. It was Boris Johnson in the United Kingdom. Is Marine Le Pen in France. Is André Ventura in my country. Like, that countries are getting, especially on the West, are getting fractured by race. They don't care if is the immigrant conversation, is the jobs conversation. Like, we are actually seeing for the first time, like in real time, all of the West fractured between left and right because it become that divided. So the question will be this, right? And this is the easy question to not easy question to answer, but the question.
Before
Go
you
ahead,
go.
Ali. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's fine.
Wait, can I answer your question? You
I know,
asked
I want-
Ali?
Yes, but let me give you some stats, right? 75% of these mass shootings are by right-wing extremists. I believe 15 to 20% are by Islamic extremists. It's a very
99,
small.
just to be clear, 99% of domestic terrorism is by the right. 99%.
It's a very small by liberal extremists, right? But this is what I'm saying. If
Where is
majority
the
of it,
example I asked
can I finish? If majority of it is by right-wing extremists or mass shooters who are white, why don't we refer to them as terrorists? And we can refer to Islam.
We do.
Can I finish?
Just
No,
call
we-
the
I
people
think
the
they do.
capital
no,
terrorists.
no, tomfoolery. To be consistent, they're called mass shooters or murder suspects. They're not referred to as terrorists.
I think they do. I think if they shoot the
But we
school,
don't
or
wanna make it
I think they do could be considered terrorists.
No, they're called mass shooters. They're mass shooters. You can look at
No. Mass
Hold on,
shooting.
hold
Is, 1 second. Mass shooting is the description, right? But that's the thing. And
No.
Ali,
Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
What is
You're
the
moving too
definition?
fast.
What, Ali, I'm walking with you. The definition of mass shooting is like 3 people or more.
It wouldn't have personalized it, so you can slow down. It's the way it's depicted in the media. I'm not talking about what we would think. We say they're terrorists.
It depends on the purpose for the shooting. So if it's ideologically driven in a way that's like very anti America, whatever the case may be, so on and so forth, then it can be viewed as terrorism because it's an attack on American ideology. If it's simply like, I'm mad at this school because they hurt my feelings 10 years ago and I'm still not over
if his
it.
girlfriend was there and he wanted to shoot his ex.
Right. That's not terrorism because the ideology behind the shooting is not terroristic in nature. It's an isolated incident.
Can I address something you said, Ali, about domestic terrorism being mostly right-wing people? I was curious, so I looked up how many domestic terrorist attacks we've had. So since I guess 1994 to 2004, it was 725 attacks. And I think what it is this is what I hear a lot of white people talking about, is they have what they call black fatigue. Their words, not mine. If you look at the number of crimes that are committed in the United States, it's predominantly black people. I mean, overwhelmingly,
not predominantly.
Exactly.
Well, we gotta get.
Let her finish. You can correct it after. Fantastic.
So that's why you're talking about something that has happened a lot fewer times. Yes, there's a lot more planning that goes into, I think, domestic terrorism, but and I'm not saying one is worse than the other, but I'm saying it happens more frequently. Or not the domestic terrorism, but just regular crimes, violent crimes and all of that. So I think that's where it's coming from. I understand it's predominantly right wing, but it's honestly a lot less of them committing those crimes.
Yeah, but even the numbers that you're giving, like 700 terrorist attacks is a very small number. That black people do commit 30% of violent crimes. Most people say 55%. It's 55% of murders, not violent crimes. But even those are only like a small percentage of people. It's like 3% of the black community who's actually even committing those crimes. Right. And so it's just small percentage. But then what they do is they take that 3% and extrapolate it to the 100% of black community and say, oh, all of these people are somehow responsible for that 3% of their community. And it's kind of ridiculous because it's the identity politics is kind of what is the problem here. It's the way that people try to.
That's what I was saying.
That's what I was saying.
I stopped Fantastic from talking. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. And Athena just gave a perfect example of how misinformation can be, commonplace, right? Because she said, and not maliciously, the majority of crimes committed by black people. That's not the case. Again, and I think Tom Frulery did a good job of explaining most people's very poor understanding of how stats work. But what you hear is people say something and people just, telephone it and keep repeating shit, even though it's not accurate. There's no way that the 13% of the population could ever commit more crimes than, I think, what white people make up 60% or something. Still, that's literally impossible mathematically. Okay. It's just the fact of the matter. And then we get into things like, sex crimes and things against children and, stuff like that. But we only want to focus on the violence, the gang violence, the shootings. When, like Tom Foolery said again, I think maybe 10,000 people die per year or something in murders. And there's 300 million people in the country. So again, I'm not saying that it's a horrible thing, but we're realists, right? There's never going to be a world where there's no dying, there's no killing, there's no evil people. So what happens is we start having these conversations about crime and violence, black people are put at the forefront. When again, like you said, white people been killing shit for a long time, no pun intended, right? And we talk about anything, Timothy McVeigh, we're not even talking about what was the Ted Kaczynski, stuff like that, the masses of people. Now we do have the black people got the DC sniper, you feel me? But when we're talking about, a majority of people and so on and so forth, that is a stereotype or archetype already of white people. So Ali, your point, I wanted to answer this question. The reason why we can't name 10 people is because no one cares about white people committing crimes and white people getting shot by white police or whatever. The news, if it bleeds, it leads. That's the thing they lead with, right? So they're always going to show you something to where it's a racial disparity so they can get clicks and views. I can name you two. Well, I can name one and I can describe the other. Tony Temple, the same thing that happened to George Floyd happened to Tony Temple. I think it was like a couple years before. No one gave a fuck. No one cared, right? Same exact fucking situation, right? Police was laughing and joking and everything. The other one was the white dude that was in the hotel. I think he was like exterminator or something. He was down on his knees and the cop motherfucking blew his ass away. Like I think this was at the beginning of like when they started doing body cams. But again, because it's white men and white people, you don't have the racial play to play there. So I think when we do this thing, it's black people are being manipulated by the media, right? And this is why we think it's this thing. All white people are racist. All cops are bad. Cops save more people than they kill. You feel me? There are literally millions of police interactions, per year. And, if you got millions of interactions with police officers, right? Police have to be paramedically trained, help kids from choking and all kinds of different things. But to black people, they just want to kill you and lock you up. So I think, once we get past the whole, the things and the stuff that happened in the past was, the dogs, the water hoses, racist police, KKK members and all that shit. But I think as we move it up and we get away from that ideology, right, things could improve and we start having the honest conversation about how things really are with policing and shit.
You still get followed when you go to Asian stores? Fantastic.
Me, no, I don't get followed. I look like I got money, so they know better.
Oh, wait. Go ahead, Ali.
But I disagree. If something happens to a white child, if a white woman is abducted, if you can't find her, it's going to be national news, and a lot of white people are going to care about that. Even when the white men heads were being decapitated, that kind of led us to the war. When we saw something like that, it made us start going to war. Like, white people do care about things that happen to white people. Even if you want to bring in Charlie Kirk, the fact that happened to him, it's caused a big stir with white people on both sides. Like, no matter what they agree with or disagree with, they don't want stuff like this to happen to white people, rightfully so. It shouldn't happen to no people, but it is addressed immediately. It's not the same way. If that's something like that happened to a person of color, it wouldn't have to be as big as it is right now, Mr. Fantix. I disagree. White lives matter and white lives are valued, and I don't think they should not be valued, but I believe that it should be ultimately the same thing when something happens to people of color as well too, or different dynamics of people or different races of people. It should be addressed similarly. That's all I'm saying. But
yeah, just real quick question, then we go from there. So but this is, I think we have to put it in proper context, right? So I think the only thing comparable would be the whole George Floyd situation, and we know what happened with that. But we're talking about actual assassinations where the intent was, because even with George Floyd, the intent wasn't to kill him, right? So do we have an equivalent of that from a black perspective? I just don't think we do. We don't have it to where, huh?
What do you mean? Oh, you talking about when Martin Luther King was assassinated?
Well, no. That's what I'm saying. So even Martin Luther King being assassinated, right?
People were happy he was assassinated.
That wasn't on camera. We saw the after effects of it.
I agree. I said that this in our lifetime, we've never seen nothing like that.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. In our lifetime, in recent times, black people don't have something comparable to where a black person was literally assassinated for.
And can we be honest too? If that was a black person, y'all would. Oh my, I'm taking the flight. I'm sorry. Like this is what I'm saying, that y'all don't care.
He deserved it.
I'll say this: if that was Dave Chappelle or whatever,
He deserved it.
I don't.
He deserved
If no, Ali, there's not. Let's go with the somebody that is on the left, that is black, that is comparable to Charlie Kirk.
How about Mark Lamont? Mark Lamont. What's the name? Lamont. Mark Lamont.
Mark Lamont Hill.
Lamont Hill. Or what's the dude? Don Lemon.
No, yes. If I'll say this and see if y'all agree with me, right? If there was Don Lemon on that shit and somebody snipe him in the everything will be on fire today. And this is why I'm asking why we have such a visceral reaction when a black person gets shot and everybody gets riled up. There's people in France, there's people in not China, because those motherfuckers don't care about black people, but everywhere, like in Brazil, everybody up in arms. But if something happens to Charlie Kirk, we had this flare of and then everybody, let's go back to Twitter real quick. We're not going to outside. Don't you agree that if he was a black person, I don't like if he was a black person, but that will be the reality.
I think you also have to look at what Charlie Kirk represented, right? And especially us here in this space, this was very big for us in our community. We gladly welcome engagement and discourse and disagreeing with one another. And this is our community, the debate community, right? But what Charlie Kirk represented was our future, because he had that impact on the youth and showing them how to properly disagree with people and how to logic and reason your way into the truth and how to understand it and so on and so forth. He was showing all of our youth that you can do stuff without violence. You can do stuff with a microphone and have the conversation openly. And that person just destroyed every little inkling like that. It drew a dagger into our future politicians, our future leaders, our future people who are open to debate and having these conversations. And that's what we're mad at. It's a left versus right thing. It's not even a black versus white. This is the idea of these are our youth that we're looking up to this guy. Mm-hmm.
So you know what I respect? A true racist. A true racist. The wear is on his forehead. Yeah, I don't like X. You know what I hate? People that use dog whistles. I hate those, because I really want to engage with you, and we see it on these panels. People that get on panels and all of a sudden, if there's a black person on the panel, they go for the jugular. If he's a woman on the panel, they start to do they start to actually do jokes to hurt them instead of actually be straight up. I don't like the passive aggressive dog whistle type of person. I think Charlie Kirk was one of these people. I'd rather have somebody that is clearly my opponent and is clearly my enemy than a person that says, the Juneteenth shouldn't be an holiday.
Wait, are you saying that he dog whistles, or that he was straight up about it?
Yes, he does the question will be this, right, Marte, if this is false. Why would the over and over again, for example, say the Juneteenth shouldn't be a holiday? If a black pilot is on the plane, I hope he's qualified. I hope he's DI. Like the several comments that he did.
Just be clear, everybody in chat saying that you're saying it's okay to kill him. You were not saying it was okay to kill him.
No.
Right?
There's an
that's not what you said.
One second, friends. Just because I'm explaining something doesn't mean that I agree with it. He died by his own words. We're going to get there later because he said it. He kind of said it, right? And he says another thing is he doesn't believe in empathy. So Charlie Kirk, unfortunately, his words are alive and he's not. And
out of context.
Before we go there, and once again, I want the person that did it to. If you execute him tomorrow in front of the I don't care. It's what it is. He actually deserved that shit, right? But how am I wrong, Marte, when I said he is not the full-blown white power, but he's going to do dog whistle, so his base kind of gets the red
He
meat.
said the Civil Rights Act was a mistake.
He was talking about DEI. He was referencing all these other things. You're missing all the context behind this. There's a reason why. So if you really look behind this, it's like you're not doing.
Give me the context. Don't jump over it. Give me the context.
He's referring to DEI when people were hired because we needed to fill quotas, things like this. So if he could put the puzzle pieces together, he's not a racist. He's never. Can you point to one racist?
He said there's better black people to celebrate than Martin Luther King, and Martin Luther King is the main spokesperson that white people like to go to make black people act like, hey man, y'all should be like Martin Luther King. He didn't see color. He said you should. There's other black people you should celebrate over Martin.
He said he didn't like Martin Luther King,
and he didn't like Martin Luther King. What?
Yeah, but how's right? So how's that not racist? It's not racist at all. It's not racist.
Why isn't it racist?
So this is why we call it a dog whistle, Marte. This is exactly why we call it a dog whistle, is because we're saying that like a bunch of normies out there will say, "Oh no, that's not what." He didn't say anything explicitly racist.
Dog whistles are where you assign intentions that are not stated. So we can throw dog whistles all the fuck out, or I'll just say whatever you think.
No, we cannot. No, we cannot. That's like saying if I walk up to somebody, okay,
I'm like Oprah over here.
If I walk up to somebody, according to you, Dusty, if I walk up to somebody and I shoot them, but I don't say why I shot them, you can't ever find out what my intentions were. You can't read intentions from it because I never said it.
The shooting betrays the intention. You don't need a dog whistle if you shoot somebody.
No.
You need a dog whistle if you want to ascribe intention.
That's not true.
You ascribe intention to somebody that they didn't state. That's where the dog whistle comes in handy.
No, the shooting is not the intention. Intention is why you shot them. Intention is why you shot them. Not that you shot them.
Black people. Did he ever say anything to denigrate black people specifically? He talked about actions and behaviors. I'm waiting for something racist that he said specifically.
No, he actually did. He said that.
He said that the Civil Rights Act was a mistake.
He said that Michelle Obama and he enumerated a bunch of black women, and he questioned why, if they are qualified actually to be on the place, when he never does that.
That sounds like DEI. That sounds like
merit. One second. If tomfoolery right now says, one second, Marte. If tomfoolery comes around and he says, I don't know if Patty Red, Fatty, Mr. Fantastic, Marte, and Ali are qualified to be on this panel. This might be a DEI panel. This is a dog whistle. This is a little racist dog whistle, because why are you not questioning Sarah? Why are you not questioning Iryna? Why are you not questioning both states?
Why not ask him why he chose the people he chose?
You literally listed a bunch of Democrat and liberal women. Obviously, he's going to oppose them. It's not because of their race. Like, come on, you know his views. You're like, that's ridiculous.
All of these people running around saying that the left caused this, caused Charlie Kirk to get shot. They caused Donald Trump to get shot, even though they never explicitly said to shoot them, even though all they said was that they were fascists and that they were Nazis. You guys believe in stochastic terrorism. You believe in dog whistles. You believe in all of these things. You just only believe in it when it happens to you.
Ascribe intentions that nobody stated.
Yes, I've said that over and over. Yes, of course. No doubt. And I'm saying that they ascribe those intentions as well.
Shit, Tom. You want to ascribe intentions to people that they don't have, they never claimed, but you feel
entitled to fucking court. Literally everybody does it.
Well, can I
read that?
1 second, Tom. Can I read this one? Let me read this one, right? And there's several of them. If I see a moronic black woman, I wonder, is she there because of her excellence, or is she there because of affirmative action?
How is that racist? If there is a moronic black woman there and she's liberal and she's on the other side and she's not conservative, right? How is that not?
There's a Mr. Fantastic reach.
He works closely with Candace Owens. Like, what are you talking about?
I have a black friend.
He has black friends, guys.
I have a black friend.
It's beyond just friendship. Okay, y'all know we are all content creators. We say things that might seem inflammatory to open the discussion. We all do this. And if anyone says that they don't, they're fucking bullshitting.
So you gotta be
every last one.
You gotta be consistent, right? Can we admit nepotism exists and there's white people that's unqualified that has massive positions in throughout America? That doesn't question.
Yeah, nepotism isn't exclusive to white people.
Let me land.
Yeah.
I get it. No, I can give you that statement, right? Let's say that affirmative action causes someone moronic to be in a position because of their race, right? Then can we be consistent and start going to into white society and going, hey, we need to question all these white people's position and see if they got there because of nepotism, and their positions were never questioned because they were white.
Can you read back the fucking
No,
quote
can I-
and see if that's what he said?
Can I land
close to
can
what
I-
he said?
Can I
Don't
land?
never say nepotism with black
Can I,
people.
can
Go
I
ahead.
land?
Do you
I'm
ever
asking-
land?
I'm asking. That's not even. I barely even talked. Are you serious?
He has been quiet. I'll give
Like,
him
it's
that.
crazy. If you're
He's-
gonna do it, we're not. Well, how about this? We can even concede to you. Let's say a moronic black person is put in a position because they're color. It's consistent if white people are treating white people the same way. Hey man, is he qualified to be in that position? For instance, when Trump was talking about the judges, right, a Hispanic judge, hey, we can't put him in that position because he's Hispanic. He might wrongfully judge. We don't do that with white people. Hey man, we need to see who will be the judge and see if they're going to rightfully judge.
Trump said that?
Yes, about a Mexican judge. Remember when he was trying to appoint a Mexican judge who was going to get appointed? He didn't want the Mexican judge to be a judge because he was Mexican. He may wrongfully judge because he's Mexican.
I don't recall that,
hold
but
on.
He was
Was-
ruling
Well,
over
you
a
also-
case
I
about
think
Mexicans.
also, could
He was,
you,
well,
could
just
you,
to be clear, he was ruling over about
Would-
he was ruling over a case about a Mexican org,
Hold on.
and he was saying that he thought he was going to be biased in favor of them because he was Mexican.
So-
It's insulting, but it's not racist. But it's
His
a
name
it's
is
a
Gonzalo.
decent assumption.
His
For
name is
example,
Gonzalo Curiel.
74% of white students read at a grade level above compared to 19% of black students. You can look this up on Google.
What
How
does
is
that
he
have
not?
to do with the
He's
topic,
like-
Marte?
How we get to
So
read?
what does it have to do with the topic, Marte?
I'm
I
just
have no
telling
idea.
you.
Hillary, that sounded like a dog whistle to me.
And you know what's funny, Marte? Listen to this.
No,
And
no.
one second. And you actually saying that there's not racist, right? There's
It's
a
not-
fact because it's the stat. What
Right,
Char-
he is stat.
what
No,
Charlie
no.
did was what he did was an opinion. It's an opinion. And you know what's funny? This is what I do with people that do dog whistles, right? On the first one, I give him the benefit of the doubt. On the second one, I'm kind of, when you do the seventh one, there's a pattern there. So
The pattern
are
is you're
not going-
speculating. The pattern is,
and I have the right. And I have the right to. Hey. You know what's funny?
He never said he was speculating. How do you know that, Dusty?
I
He
have
never
no-
said that. He never said he was speculating.
Because of the nature
You're
of
just
what a dog
assuming that.
was.
He never
I'm trying to-
stated that he was
Flaming
speculating.
dog.
What do you-
brother. Exactly.
I am.
Hold
It's
on,
my
though,
opinion.
Fatty,
It's my
you
opinion.
do this all the time when you talk about women and dating. You sit there and you spit out all of these statistics and blah, 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 blah,
Yes.
blah. Would somebody come in and be like, you're sexist? And then you're like, no, I'm just giving you the facts. These are the majority, the this, the that. Can you deny
So,
that?
Sarah, no,
And
no,
that's
no,
exactly what the
Let me-
same thing is in this.
Let me defend myself, right? Charlie Kirk said that he was against the civil rights. I want women to vote. I want women to be astronauts, presidents, hookers. I am not trying to restrict anything about women. Charlie Kirk said that actually blacks were better on the 40s during Jim Crow when people were getting lynched. There was picnics. Like I'm not telling women were better in the 30s. I literally what I do is I separate both. Just because you are a bad wife doesn't mean that you are a bad woman. You might be a scientist, you might be a judge, you might be a teacher, you might be a great educator, and still on the other side be a bitch as a wife. So when we're
Fatty,
talking
you're
about
missing the point.
relationships, I never say, ladies, go back to the kitchen. And I will say something. I will say
Fuck up
something.
that straw man.
That,
Yeah,
Fatty,
but
you're
let
missing
me-
the point.
let-
You're
let me
missing
say-
the
let me
point
just-
altogether.
Wait, what?
Let me
Yeah,
just let me just
the whole point, Fatty.
No,
Yeah,
no,
let
no,
me-
no,
let
no,
me-
no,
I'm
no,
not,
no.
Fatty,
Listen,
I'm not saying
listen,
that
before
you
go.
say women can't vote or do this. I'm saying you throw statistics around like it's your job when it comes to your points.
No,
but
it's
when
fine.
we're utilizing them in this case, you're like, well, but that, and then you go
No,
and
that's fair.
speculate.
So,
Well,
Sarah,
that makes
But
this,
it
and that
is
makes
about
that.
the intent.
Friends, one
Statistics.
second,
Well,
friends.
wait,
Hey, one second, friends. 1 second. I told you the worst things Charlie Kirk said about black people, right? What was the worst thing I said about women?
We're Fatty, I'm
Uh-oh.
referring to what you talk about with
Uh-oh.
relationships, all of the debates that you have on relationships and women.
Yes.
throw all of these, well, the majority, right? You say,
Yes.
and you even say this, like, if most of them do it, I'm not saying there aren't exceptions, but if most
Yes.
of them, and statistically, and yada, 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 we're talking about the idea of utilizing statistics in
Mhm.
this very particular situation. We're not saying that you think women shouldn't vote. That's not what we're fucking saying. We're saying Charlie
Yes, but
Kirk
it's
No,
used
and what
Charlie
and what
Kirk
I'm
utilized statistics and charts and yada 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 as
no
his
no no
arguments, and then you're
Yes.
saying, well, that's
no
racist.
Skip. No, that's Skip.
Rest
You know
in
what's
peace,
funny? No,
straw
you know
man.
why I
I
Skip?
can see
No,
right
you know
now.
why? No, you know why I Skip? Ali is my witness. I always say separate what a woman does from relationship. Just because a woman is bad at relationships doesn't mean that she's a shitty woman. Charlie Kirk, for what
Oh
I
my God,
see,
you're still missing the
he's
point.
a great dad. He's a
Hold
great
hold on, Fred,
And we're
Fatty,
not
you're
saying
not
that
you're
at all.
not answering the
Never
question.
mind.
It's
Never
the
mind.
answer.
I
The
give
answer
up.
is the intent behind it, Sarah. So like, it's about the intent behind it. It's about what you're trying to achieve. So like, there's a lot of people who talk about 1350, right? 13% of the 13% of the population commit 50% of the murders. They're talking about black people, right? But when you bring this up in like an academic setting, or talking about the fact that like we need to find solutions to this, or if it actually has some relevance. But lots of times, whenever like a black person pops up on the screen, lots of people will just start spamming 1350. They're not actually saying anything. Like, they're not trying to fix anything. They're not trying to have a real academic conversation there. They're trying to say that person's black, they're probably violent. That's what they're saying. And so it's about the intent that is behind the thing that they're saying.
No,
Yeah,
Tom,
so
they
can
do
I
even worse.
have a question for
No,
Mate.
they do. 1 second, Perez, you can go. They do even worse. I bet you don't have a daddy, right? He didn't do nothing. Like, every time I go on a panel that there's more than 4 people, like, y'all be very nice and very like, you fight with each other, but the racial component doesn't start. As soon as a black person come in, y'all start with the little microaggressions. I don't like to use the term, but the little jabs you heard, you said, and I'm like, damn, you weren't talking like this for 2 hours. All of a sudden, y'all start with the racial. Like, this happens all the time. And you might say that this is joking or not, but like Tommy's saying, is the intent. I separate the person from the relationship. We talk about relationships. I never said that Charlie Kirk was not a good father or a good husband. What I'm saying is that he definitely throws dog whistles at his base, and y'all eat it because y'all love
Neither
it.
one of you know intent. Neither one of you are psychic.
okay, so
Can't assume
Even
I
if
have
intent.
the right.
even if
I
there
have the
was
right to
intent,
have my
that
opinion.
happens, and
can I
everyone does that. I've been in other spaces and I've seen black people do the exact same thing. I've gotten kicked
Absolutely.
off of panels.
Right. Yeah.
Man,
Absolutely.
Nobody
you
would deny
can't
that.
talk because you're
No,
white. Hey,
absolutely. So you
Yeah,
are
so
admitting it, right?
Nobody would
1 second.
deny that. That's racist.
No, so you are
That's
admitting it,
racist,
right? Because
Right,
Athena,
but
you know what
they're
happened? You know
seeking
what happened?
intent.
Hold on,
You know this.
1 second, please.
I can
1
hear.
second. Just 1 second. This is what happens when white people come on my side. Hey, fellas, don't act like you never saw a white person before. Behave. That's the rules. Everybody knows this shit. Everybody knows this shit. But as soon as the opposite starts, boo boo. So it's a watermelon and the chicken and da. Like,
Yeah,
what the fuck are you doing?
yeah, let me go, Face. Like,
What
so
the hell are you
perfect,
talking about?
perfect.
That's what happens.
Yeah, just a perfect example. See, I had mentioned one time that Tom Foolery looked like fucking Mr. Freeze. You know what I'm saying? I had that in the chamber the whole time.
Yes.
But you know what I'm saying?
He
I didn't
kind
let
of
it go.
does look like Mr.
You
Freeze.
feel me? But
Ah!
but nah, just I think it's fair to what they're saying. It's something, the racial thing, the racial jokes happen. As long as it's not malicious, it's just something that's gonna happen, right? But to the point of what Powder Dusty was saying, that's the whole purpose of a dog whistle or covert message, right?
Red, you can go
When we
next.
talk about black people, we're talking about either you have overt racism, you have covert racism. A dog whistle will be something that's covert, right? To where, and I'm not saying that's what Charlie Kirk was doing. I don't think he was, well, even though I just seen him call an Asian person the C word today for the first time. I didn't know he got down like that. It was crazy. But I haven't seen him be maliciously and overtly or directly covertly racist to black people. And as much as you guys like to say it, there are one of which I know, well, I don't know personally, but I follow and we've had interactions, ABL and Anthony Brian Logan, and then of course Candace Owens and a couple of other conservative commentators that are black that say, hey, he's a good person. He has a lot of black people that say he's a good guy. So to your point, though,
the coons. Yeah, I believe them.
But that's crazy. But that's another whole nother conversation, Fatty. But that's what I'm saying. So if you're conservative, you're automatically a raccoon, right? But that's another thing. I don't want to get
no.
Yes.
There's coon-like behavior and there's coon Power Ranger.
No, Fatty.
I'm not. This is what I said about the dog whistles. There's some people that are straight up like Nick Fuentes. Straight up, no questions asked. No, I'll never put Charlie Kirk next to him. He's full-blown racist. End of story. He admits.
Oh, just to be clear, wait. Just to be clear, did you say that he called an Asian girl the C word?
Yes.
The Asian person.
Okay, he didn't say that. He didn't. Just to be clear, hold on. Wait, just to be clear, he didn't do that. He was arguing with Cenk Uygur. Cenk is his name. It's CENK, Cenk. And so he wasn't. I know people are blowing this up all over the internet right now. It's a lie.
I appreciate
it's just to be clear, it is the left pushing this bullshit lie that he called an Asian woman.
I think this is a great point. So in this day and age of social media, it sounded like that, and I don't know the context, and that's what we keep talking about. So if you don't have the context of something, I thought it was the C word. And he getting out his chair and everything, and that's how people are promoting it.
No.
Sharing it.
He's the dude from the Young Turks.
He was debating Hassan, and he was talking to Cenk Uygur is Hassan's uncle, who was
I know the young Turks guy, the old angry Arab guy, or Middle Eastern or some shit.
Chunk yogurt.
But that's fantastic. But that's the point, right? And Red, you can ask the question: if you can make jokes about George Floyd, and now you are on the internet screaming about people. Like some people are literally on the business of offending people. Is George Floyd a monkey? Shout out to Mr. Jim Bob, right? Right? Is George Floyd the monkey? Like people are on the business of offending other people left and right every day, all the time. And the day that the other people say, you know what? I'm going to say something that I'm going to offend you. Let's make some jokes about Charlie Kirk. Now, all of a sudden, the same people, like, for example, Myron Gaines, that literally have their job as offending people every day, all day, all of a sudden can take a joke, are banning people, blocking them, saying that they don't have feelings, they don't have empathy. I don't understand how can both sides be snowflakes and complain about the same things that they do on a day-to-day basis. And Marte is not in his head, but once again, my question still is an answer. Why are people that every day say shit that offends half of the population are so mad when the other half of the population uses their pain to actually make some jokes? Why is
I'm
that?
still waiting for when he was racist. Can you tell me what he said that was racist is not statistical?
I already said that he's dog whistles. He's not once, sir. Hey, sir, 1 second. Hey, Marte, what we're not going to do is prove it. Okay? Right? This is not a debate.
Because you can't.
Oh, because he was
but that's the point. But that's the point.
That's racist.
No, but that's the point.
Right?
Hey, no, Marte. If I say to Athena, "Hey, Athena, are you streaming from a kitchen? Are you streaming from a microwave?" This is a sexist dog whistle. You clearly see. If I say, "Hey, Athena, go get me a sandwich," you can prove that
that's just an asshole joke. That's not even
there's a sexist.
I don't even think it's sexist.
No.
I don't think it is either. It's just it's like especially in this space, it's a running fucking joke. Oh, I hit the wall, fell down, got up and ran into it again. Fatty.
Well, again, that's why it's about the intent of the joke.
Ooh, where's your daddy? Do you have a daddy? Did you have a mommy?
Isn't that an opinion?
Money mean to you? These are just fucking jokes that we all throw at each other. They're all shit tests, Fatty. We know them well. We're not new here. Like, are you new to the internet? Welcome to the club.
But there's not
you would give her that.
Hold on.
If we give you that about the intent, can you be honest about who's typically intentionally racist? Like black people will be prejudiced and react to white people thinking that they may be racist, so they might not dislike you. But white people will not like a black person because his skin color. So if y'all gonna say intent and what genuine is, that's okay.
No, Joe, what are you talking about?
That was definitely racist.
Can I finish? Can I finish? If it wasn't racist, if you see if when white people are fighting about their guns, when white people are talking about LGBT, when white people are talking about how they can't provide for their cost of living, housing, all these things, they don't say the white man is doing that. They say the government is. But as soon as a black person has a disagreement with a white person, they say go back to Africa. How's that being racist when that's genuinely what's happening? When black people express themselves, when black people are communicating, we don't get treated. Oh, that's an American expressing his views.
Communicate.
And let me finish. Black people, even by other black conservatives, are told, go back to Africa if you have a problem with it. White people aren't being told go back to England, go back to Europe. We're not telling white people that. So
we don't have the victim fetish that you have.
It's not no victim stat.
It's a victim fetish.
Let me know when I can finish. When I can land. When I can finish.
You think that white people?
Hold on. So what is the ultimate victim? Isn't make America great again? From white people that's wearing MAGA hats to say make America great again. What does that mean? If you
don't think that there's black people that are MAGA?
Can I finish? If
you asked me a motherfucking question, you baby.
No, I'm acting like a baby. Now I'm a baby. How am I being a baby expressing myself? This is what I mean. So the black American is a baby now, right?
You're a baby.
Why am I a baby?
It's not a race thing.
Why am I a baby?
He's a baby for controlling himself and giving his opinion.
Right.
The baby is the one that is interrupting while he's eating pizza.
Right.
Right.
And that's the thing. And that's the thing about what happens in this country. Liberals and conservatives hate each other. Democrats and Republicans hate each other until it's time to hate a person of color, and then everybody comes together until they use those people of color to hate foreign people. Then black people will come together. But the problem is when black people express themselves from a cultural standpoint, they're told to go back to a different country where the black person that may be supposedly conservative, fantastic. I'm conservative, but I can address what's happening to black people at the same time without being anti-white. But a lot of black people who are prominent now do speak on the narrative that white people are pushing, and that's why they gain fame. White people, like when Marte asks how I could be racist, depending on who you promoting. We know that white people love promoting Candace Owens. We know white people love promoting Jesse Lee Peterson, Sheriff Clark. But when you bring up people like if we just start talking about Kaepernick for taking a knee when a white soldier told him to take a knee just to address what was happening in his country, he lost his entire career. So it's different things when the Chiefs kicker addressed what was happening about wanting homemakers, women to be homemakers, not white women. He was promoted, he was supported. So when a black person expresses himself, he's demonized, dehumanized, and told go back to Africa. When a white man expresses himself, he's American. He's a human being.
The white guy that spoke at the school was demonized heavily. He was called a misogynist, a sexist, and everything else. He got drugged through the mud for that.
We're talking about race. We're not talking about being a misogynist and misandrist. We're talking about how you're supported differently when you have when white men disagree, they're not told to go back to a different. Can you address Marte without moving the goalpost? Can you address the fact when white men disagree, they're not telling each other go back to a different country? Can you address that?
When have you been told that?
Can you address that? Can you address that?
I was waiting for my turn to respond, but apparently fucking Ali never finished.
I'm sorry, the baby. Hold on.
Ali, when have you been? When was the last time you were told that?
Let me cry. Let me finish crying.
When was the last time you were told to go back to Africa?
Go ahead.
I'm all the time.
You're personalized with me. I've been told.
Go back to Portugal, fatty.
Do you want to do my personal experience with racism? Or you want to just conflate it to when I was told
when is the last time you were told? Yes, you're bringing this up like it's a big issue. We've been sitting here for an hour and a half now, 2 hours if you count backstage time. I haven't heard anybody say it once.
Right. So the fact that you're asking it in the manner you're asking it, I have been told to go back to Africa when I disagree with somebody before, but you're asking it and it don't matter if I tell you that. So why would it matter?
Yeah, because I think it's fucking stupid, and I think that you've got a victim fetish, like I said.
So how am I a victim? If I got two businesses, I support
because you've been crying about offenses that haven't happened. That's why I'm asking you. When is the last time this offense happened to you?
How do you know he has a victim fetish if he never told you he has a victim fetish, Dusty? How do you know that?
I'm a victim.
You're assuming his intent.
Yeah. So if white people say they're losing the country, are they playing victim?
When is the last time that
you had? That's what I'm saying.
You said not to move the goalpost, so let's keep the goalpost. Bring them back here. Bring the goalpost back.
Hey, I'm gonna be
When is
quiet.
the last time? Because you brought this up several times that you've been
Tell me
that
how
black men are
tell
told
me
to go
how I
back to
said I'm a
Africa.
victim.
When
Tell
is
me
the
how I
last
said I'm a
time this happened?
No,
I'm
tell me.
sorry, I'm talking. I'm talking.
I can answer that. I've been called nigga with the art
I wasn't
ER
asking you, fatty.
on both of, on some people panels, right? Some
Daddy,
people
stop
panels.
saving your boy. I wasn't
Are you
asking
not
you.
saying-
You didn't make the
The
complaint.
second time
You're
I went to
deflecting.
Flow
You're
State
deflecting.
channel,
You're not
somebody
addressing.
dropped the
How am
N
I a
bomb,
victim?
and
Tell
I'm
me how I'm a
snitching. It
victim
was
first.
E-Rock.
No, tell them. Like, I'll be quiet. Tell me how I'm a victim first. Why am I a victim?
They call me
Can
that.
I
Listen to
address
you. You've
what
been
you
crying
said
the whole
already?
time.
Athena, can you please let him answer? He's not answering.
I know.
I'm
That's why
asking
I'm
you.
like,
I would like to know because
filibustering.
you
He's
brought up this.
filibustering right now. So tell me how I'm a victim.
You have brought up this offense several times this debate. Now, I would like to know because I think that that is a perfect example of your victim fetish because you keep bringing up this thing that I don't see happening. Maybe I'm wrong. When is the last time you personally were told to go back to Africa?
I haven't been told that in a while. So what does
Then
that got
get
to
the
do?
fuck over it, bro.
What does that got to do with the fact that I've been told that and people are being told that? What does that got
This
to
is
do?
your
with it?
victim fetish. You asked to
No,
say how you're
hold
being a
on,
victim.
hold on.
This is it. You're
This
carrying
is-
around this wound with you that hasn't happened and you don't even know how long. Get over it.
So before I address him, can the white people that's on the panel be honest about the fact that black people are being told to go back to a different country when they disagree with somebody? Can y'all be honest about that, please?
Can you be honest about your
yes,
victim
just
fetish?
like white people are called racist as soon as they disagree with a black person.
Can we not move it? Can we not move it first?
You just said that. What was it? The dog
I'll
whistle?
answer.
I didn't ask that.
Well, time to move the goalpost again. On three, fellas. 1, 2, 3, push.
You were the one talking about the dog whistle and all that crap. So yeah, people are going to say go back to America because or go back to Africa because that's the insult to you. You're going to call white people racist or that they're dog whistling. That's what it is.
Even further, won't they tell people to get out the country? They'll probably tell a black or white person to get out the country if you don't like it.
You're so speculative. Can you just admit that you're a victim and you love it?
Can
But
somebody
hold up. But I mean, any race could say this. Anybody from Mexico, anybody from the Middle Eastern countries, anybody from Asia, like anybody that doesn't look white could essentially say the same thing as being like, well, they told me to leave and go back to my country, presuming that you're an import, right? Like, show me on the doll where that hurts you.
No,
Yes.
that's not the
No,
point.
yeah,
Is it? Hold on, fatty. Hold on, fatty. Last point. No. Last point. Is that hypocritical and contrary to the white people that say we fight for the freedom of speech and for the right to for people to voice their opinions? Is that hypocritical when you're telling somebody that they're a victim, stop crying, or you're a snowflake? When this is a country where you're supposed to have the freedom of speech and soldiers are going to war for your right to say whatever you want. Is that hypocritical?
Nope. You still have the right
How is it hypocritical?
Have to do with each other. That doesn't make any
You
sense.
still have the right to be a victim and I have the right to call you. Fantastic.
No,
Matt,
you
if
tell
you want
people
a
that their
victim-
opinions don't matter and that they should stop talking and just go back to their country
Yes.
versus them saying
Being American.
freedom of
American.
speech. But
God,
obviously,
Tom, you're killing
the
me.
problem is that the
Can
problem
we
is
race
that
trade, Tom?
the problem is that just by well,
team.
hold on. The problem is that just by like assuming that anybody who isn't white, that they do say, go back to your country, X, Y, and Z, and discount anything that they have to say when it doesn't align with only the narrative that they want, not free speech, not freedom for all, but just the narrative that they want. That is the point, is that you don't say what they want to hear. So they start crying and telling you to go back to their country. Like a
take
bunch
it
of
off
fucking
black. Take
snowflakes.
it off black.
Well, then I'm tired of getting called a racist
put
every
this
time
smoking gun.
I turn a black
Nobody
man
called you a
down.
racist. Nobody called you a
Say it
racist,
all
Sarah.
the time.
It's your victim narrative, Sarah.
Hold on,
Be
hold
the
on.
victim,
We
Sarah.
can all be mad at
Daddy.
somebody getting mad at us.
Don't be the victim, Sarah.
Victim
Every
narrative,
time
Sarah.
I turn down and this has happened to me before, Ali. I turn down a black man and I say, no, I don't want to give you my number, but thanks though. Oh, you don't like black guys? Like, no, I just
Yeah,
think
that
you're
was
ugly.
racist, Sarah.
Stop.
That was
Yes,
racist.
yes,
But
we're not
hold
going to
on,
deny
hold
that
on,
that
very
happens,
racist.
though.
Sarah, Sarah, me and Tom
What
are not. Me and Tom
Oh
are
my
not
God.
saying that it doesn't happen.
That's just
You
because
let-
I'm
let me
white,
finish.
Ali.
Let me-
That's
let
just
me-
because
no, let
I'm
me
white.
fin-
When
let
I
me
turn a black man
I
down,
finish?
that
Nope.
automatically makes
it
me
was
racist,
fantastic.
right?
And nobody.
Like,
And,
so
and
you're
we,
We're not
we
denying
acknowledge-
that.
and we're not
told you to
denying
go
it
back
happens.
to your country.
We're not-
Like, so what? So what?
let-
Guess
let her
what?
finish, Tom.
Guy
Let her finish.
called me a racist, and I said, "Okay, have a nice day," and I walked
No, but
away. Did
Sarah,
I
that's
cry
fine.
and die about it?
Sarah,
I laughed
Oh
and I
my
thought, wow,
goodness.
No,
close-minded
my
retard.
goodness.
Sarah, there's the point. We acknowledge that, right? Ali, I have the smoking gun. This doesn't have to go too far. How many times have you heard people say to Elon Musk, go back to Africa? They don't. It's very rare.
Who's Elon Musk?
Elon Musk.
Martin, African American.
Yeah, Martin has a low
It was the French version. Omelette de fromage, right?
Making fun of his accent is racist, guys. Okay, you guys can't do that. All right, that's
I'm making
racist.
fun of his comprehension level. So,
Uncle Tom has deemed that a dog whistle.
Yes,
when
that
Ellen
was
Musk,
a dog
when
whistle.
Ellen DeGeneres goes ahead and he says something like Elon Musk is always complaining all the time, every time. It's very rare that people say go back to Africa, even though he's actually African, right? He is technically African. If you don't like it, go back to Africa. This is regular, and this happens, and he doesn't get it as much as a black person because he is white, right? And he's fine. When Sarah is fine.
Or maybe he just doesn't victim about it as long.
He's the biggest crybaby on YouTube.
Well, do you identify as African American or do you identify as a Black American? No. I mean, any Black person on the panel, I guess.
I'm a first generation European. I'm a Afro-European.
Ali, do you identify
never
as
heard
an
that, right?
African American?
So I identify as a Black American when white people are referring to Black people, but we know we're African Americans, right? About nation-wise, but Black isn't really a race as well too. When you get down to what race is, that's a whole nother conversation.
Ali. Don't do it.
I ain't gonna go that. I ain't gonna go into race stuff, right? But I identify.
Do it, Ali.
I identify as both. I identify as an African American, and I identify as Black.
Who's sizzling?
Same way as.
I think he's a white person.
Same way, Sarah. White people identify as American. They identify as white. They identify as Italian. They identify as French. They identify with everything.
Identify as a bitch.
It's funny that when we speak about this, again, there's pushback. See, there's pushback to when we're referring about race or African American, but white people refer to themselves in a whole different ways outside of just.
Bro,
being
you're such a victim.
How's that a victim talk?
How is that the victim?
I don't know. I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you. I don't know what else to do for me.
It sounds like the cliche white response to when Black people are speaking. That's what
there you go. I don't know how you don't see the victimhood.
And it's a specific white person, not like Tom Foolery. You can
no,
tell the difference. Just like
that's
like hold on, Fatty. That's like the Black person that you'll go, baby, you crying, and the Black person you go, man, Fatty, you're not like the rest of them. I like this.
He didn't do nothing.
The black man that says the rhetoric that certain white people like, they like those Black people, but the Black people they don't like, they want them to go back to Africa. You got to be honest about that.
Which ones do we like?
Should Americans? Last question to the true Americans on the panel. Should a white person ever tell a Black person to go back?
Was that a dog whistle?
That was
a dog whistle against me.
Should a white person ever tell a Black person to go back to Africa?
Go back to Africa and change your fucking tampon, you cry baby ass little bitch.
He's triggered. He's triggered.
What if he's not from Africa?
Extremist rhetoric.
I don't give a fuck where he's from. He's crying like a bitch. Change your tampon any continent you want to.
So, but this is what we're talking about, right? Flow State being performative about a very serious issue, and now I'm offended. I'm going to go on Twitter and do a mean tweet about it, and nothing will happen, right? So once again, I think we got to the conclusion that Flow State is not the honest actor.
But white people, white people who are literally dominating the country, we're losing everything. We're losing everything. Like
you know what?
When people are asking for justice, they're victims.
Look, you guys haven't asked a lot of questions about like why they come to these conclusions or what the reasoning is or anything. But every time even we give it, we talk about like the intent. It's immediately like, oh, well, I'm white and I get this, or I have these issues. But you're not actually like engaging with the points that are being made. You're just doing a bunch of whataboutisms or find some way to like pivot to a different topic.
The guy said, I got that white bitch. I got that white bitch twice. There's intent there. That's also super racist. Like, how's that not race?
No, remember, Martel, he can't be racist. Martel, he can't be racist. He's Black, remember?
No. He was making a point. Hold on, wait.
It's not true, but you know, that's what they say.
And you pivoted to something totally different.
No, I just want to say this, right? First, it might be a descriptor. She might be white and she might be a bitch. There's the first one. It might just be.
Yeah.
It might just be. One second. It might just be describing somebody.
You cut out. Your
Yeah, you're
mic
cutting
went
out
bubbly.
completely.
My mic went out.
You're back now. You're back
Yeah,
now.
the spatula's broke.
Damn, that's the YouTube is
white
owned by a
man.
white man, right? That's crazy. So this
I put
might
in the
be
call to
microaggressions. I just want to say this, right? There's nothing more crybaby as the great replacement. Charlie Kirk
I don't
said that
disagree
shit.
with you.
Oh my god, they're replacing us. We're becoming brown. Oh my god, we're becoming brown. We're becoming more kids.
Hold on. Statistically,
So,
white
now
people
so now it's so. Marte's capping.
Marte, you don't
No,
go and care
that's
for
a
your
fact.
boy. No, one
It's
second.
true. White people
No,
are going to be in the minority in 70
but
years.
that's exactly the point. That's exactly the point. Think about it,
Oh,
right?
fact?
No, it is a fact. But if we are going, every time I say something, I'm going to be called a snowflake and a crybaby because I pointed out something that I don't like. You
If
are
I'm
going to
pointing
be
out
called a
facts-
snowflake and a crybaby
Here's the
because you're
thing.
crying about
Daddy,
people
will you
not being
put
like
the straw
you.
man
If
down? I
they
only
are,
called Ollie a
that's
crybaby.
true,
Well, you're being a
Martel,
crybaby.
if that's true,
Facts now.
that's due to the hands of white people, though. They allowed
And
it
that's
to
fine.
happen.
Hey, go
They're
fuck
the ones
more.
that
Go
chose
get more
not to
babies.
reproduce, right?
Go.
Wouldn't that be them not reproducing that's caused the replacement problem?
Yes.
No, I'm just
black
asking.
people are stopping them from fucking.
Glenn, your
Can we
mic
hear
is
from Petty
popping
Red?
a
'Cause
lot.
Petty
Is
Red
it
hasn't
popping
had
a
a chance
lot?
to talk all day.
It's
All
bubbling.
right, hold on.
Yes, it's
He's got
black
like
people and
fuzz
Mexicans
every
that
time
are
he talks.
stopping white people from fucking and having more kids. That's their fault. Why is your fucking more? Patty Red, you had the question. I'm sorry.
I had a question for Marte. I mean, like
we go back to Glenn.
all over the place, but I just need some clarification on when they were addressing some of the things that Kirk was saying. I mean, Charlie was saying, and you brought up the
literacy rates.
literacy rate. What was your intent there? I just want clarification for that.
My intent was to say that this comes from something that maybe he knows the stats and data behind, but he's not going to break it down. He's just going to say, I would rather not a DEI hired somebody qualified. This wasn't specifically saying that blacks are bad or being racist. He's just saying overwhelmingly through his experience, maybe data and all this other stuff. Now, I'm making an assertion right now, but here's the thing. If you deep dive on his rhetoric, this comes from DEI. He's talked about this on several panels and everything else. So once again, I've not heard anything racist specifically that he said towards black people.
Like I said, and I'll say it again, a dog whistle can be proven. That's why it's called dog whistle. A dog will listen and understand, but the people in between know. I didn't say it was a full-blown racist, and I make a distinction about Nick Fuentes and
You
this person.
said he
So,
was
no,
racist.
Marte, hey, Marte, 1 second. And please, this happens a lot of y'all with your crew, right? Your crew does that shit a lot. The Crucible guys. Every time a black person is on the panel, is George Floyd jokes. You don't know your daddy.
I wasn't joking.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm saying that, like, we.
Why bring it up then?
Can you stop, please?
Go ahead.
I have enough hours of material where I understand when they are talking and there's no black people on the panel, they never bring that shit. Never. They have a conversation. They might be rowdy, they might be spicy, but they never do that. And as soon as a black person comes on the panel, and I said this on Andrew Wilson, and this is why I'm repeating, why are you using FUBU? You come on the black panel, there's 5 people on the panel, and now you're talking about FUBU for what reason? Because you're trying to trigger people. And this is a dog whistle to your people, because it's the let's go and fuck with those people. That's the reality. So if I can prove it, doesn't mean that I'm blind. I'm not saying that they are racist. I'm not saying they are racist. I'm just saying that depending on the person they are in front of, and when black people open and get into the ring, usually what you hear is the dog whistles and the racist jokes and all that shit. So my question is, once again, why do you need the definitive I am a racist to actually say that people are kind of implying some shit without actually doing it? What's
Is
the
it
problem?
invalid?
Can we check on Ali? I didn't actually mean to go to Ali.
Is it true?
No. It's actually invalid. You know, 1 second. When Jim Bob is discussing evolution and a white person says, hey, sir, we are monkeys. And then he goes out of his way to say, is George Floyd a monkey? What the fuck is that? That is, no, stop there. And interrupted, no nothing. What that means is I'm going to put you on an uncomfortable position because black people been referred to monkeys for the longest time. So you are going to have to answer that. And the man says, yes, absolutely. George Floyd is a monkey. And now everybody's like, haha, that was a fun moment. Let's move on.
No.
Respectfully.
Yeah, Sarah, even in your chat, Sarah, like I'm watching your chat, even when I point out like stats about like crime or stats
You
about
leave my
like
chat alone.
or
You leave
stats
my
about
chat alone.
the-
My chat
every
always
time I
wins.
say this stuff,
Leave my
they start
fucking
calling
chat
me like
alone. Because you're a ding dong, Tom. Shut up.
no,
Leave my
they
chat
call me a
alone. My
white
chat always
savior.
wins.
They call
Dog
me a
whistle.
white savior. They say that I'm trying to like
Everybody who knows what
defend
ding
black
dong is
people.
mobilized.
They keep saying this shit, but all I'm doing is pointing out stats. I'm pointing out facts. I'm pointing out studies, but that doesn't make the difference to them. Like the fact of the matter doesn't matter to them, right? They're still going to characterize it as some sort of bad thing, and I'm saying that that's okay. But the fact that you guys keep saying, oh, but is he wrong? Is he stating facts? Are those stats true? Like, sure, they can be true. We can still characterize them as something that we're putting
forward.
forward.
You know what's fucked up? I'm not lying either, right? But they're calling me a victim and saying, "Oh, look at." I'm not lying at all. I'm literally pointing out. One second.
So if somebody's
I love. One second.
why
You
is
got
it a
it off
problem if
tail
it's
end. You got it
true?
off tail end. I love.
I
people.
want to. Oh, sorry.
Oh, 1 second, Sarah. I love people that complain about identity politics, and all they do is identity politics. All of them. Oh, look at the left being identity politics. You are black, so let me do black jokes. You are gay, so let me do gay jokes. You are trans, so let me do trans jokes. Like all of y'all do is identity politics, and that's what you do. And when somebody points it out and says, look at you calling me snowflake and you crying and complaining about something while you are being a snowflake, now all of a sudden, L in the chat, L, W. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, we are not going to lie. We are not blind, and we see it. And Mr. Marte, if he was honest, he would say, yes, we engage in that, but it's not malicious. It's totally fine. But no, he will never do it because he's the token black guy. He will never, ever admit that once a black person enters the arena, some people that are experts in triggering people are trying to make an example out of the people on the panel. But go ahead, Glenn, you got it. And let Marte nod his head like he's a motherfucking bubblehead.
Well, I'm just wondering if
the truth hurts, right?
Is the truth.
I'm not lying.
True,
Double is in the chat.
what is the problem if it's objectively true? How is something objectively true racist?
Wait, what? If
how
he's
could
not
something objectively be true be racist?
So let me give you an example, right? I'm talking with you, Glenn, and you say you probably don't know your dad. I might actually not know my dad. You might actually be right. But the fact that you went out of your way to say that to me when I never saw you saying that shit to a white person, actually, it kind of is kind of a racist shit.
Wouldn't context matter though? Let's say we're talking about being a man.
Well, no,
what
that's
it takes
what we're
to be a
saying.
man, right?
That's what
and
we're
then
saying.
you're like telling
Matter.
me a bunch of stuff that you don't know, and I'll be like,
that's
well,
what we're saying. You
know
asked,
your dad,
yes,
right?
that's what we're saying though, Glenn. You asked how facts could be racist, and we're answering because of the context. That's how it could be.
It's
racist.
because of the context. So, for example, Glenn, I would understand that if you have a conversation about evolution, like certain terms are being said, and it's totally fine. The term monkey is not a racist term. There's monkeys. But when somebody questions you, is George Floyd the monkey? How do you go to George Floyd? There's a billion people in the middle. Why do you go to George Floyd? There's a reason, right?
Fatty, why are you in your feelings?
Be inflammatory and racist.
I'm not in my feelings. I can dish it and I can
right?
Fatty, all up in your
I have something I want to say, Fatty.
Right? I can see if we're having a conversation about, let's say, masculinity or something, and you're telling me a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, no, and I go, dude, was your dad in your home, right? And I'm just going off of stats, right? Or did you have a male figure, right? Hold on. If it's objectively true, that basically, statistically speaking, this might be a factor that why you are lacking in knowledge in this thing. I'm inquiring. It's not being racist. I'm going off of what the data has shown, and I'm asking you, do you have this? Did you have this growing up? That's not me being racist at all.
No.
He didn't say that based off of it's the accusation. It's the accusation, though. Like even earlier, we were talking about the 1350 stat, right? And talking about the fact that black people disproportionately commit crime. But if you extrapolate that and just start assuming that like black people are criminals just because of the 1350 stat, that is like the racist part. Is you're taking minority groups and then extrapolating it to the majority, which is fallacious, and that's what makes it races. Like racism is like unfair discrimination, right?
Racism is prejudice based on race. Yes.
Even prejudice is a type of discrimination, so it's all just unfair discrimination.
If we know that most black people are not criminals, and we are saying maybe our ancestors weren't wrong about how they treated black people, is that racist?
Yes, that is racist.
Is that racist? Hey, I'm not going to say you tweeted that last week, but I'm going to say that somebody said that shit. Maybe our ancestors and our great ancestors, maybe that was the reason why they treated black people that way. So you're justifying slavery. You're not just saying
Rachel? Are you?
That was Rachel Wilson. Yes, that was her. Yes, that was her. And you know what's funny? And you know what's funny? Like I said, this is what I'm talking about. Is the dog whistle shit. You are justifying slavery and saying maybe there was a reason why they're doing that shit. And then when I question, here comes Marte. That wasn't racist. You can prove it. Of course, because it's a dog whistle. Dog whistles can be proven. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Would you say, Fanny, would you say that you're sexist against women? Because I hear you ask women all the time.
Yes,
Do you?
Yes. No,
you are?
Yes, because I believe that men and women are different. And I believe in positive sexism, like chivalry, like me being a gentleman, taking my jacket. So I believe that men and women are different, so I'm inherently sexist. Is that bad? No, because I think women love to pay the first date, and I do it. I will die for my woman. I think a woman should sit on a seat if she is like. I believe in positive discrimination when it comes to sexism. So respectfully. Go ahead.
You said earlier, you specifically said, "Oh, I don't want to keep women from doing this or whatever." But then when you're talking to women, you always ask them, "Did you have a father? Was there a father in the house?" Y'all do the same thing. Stereotypes are there for a reason. When fathers are missing, we know that people behave in a certain way. Stereotypes are there for a reason.
No, that's not me. That's not me. I don't go the I don't do the father route. Don't. No, you
I have a serious question.
Again, the extrapolating from the stereotype again is the problem. Saying a stereotype exists is true. Making assumptions because of the stereotype.
Assumptions are the problem, Tom. I agree.
Sarah, engage with something that I'm saying for once, Sarah. Sarah, you gotta stop just bitching all the time, Sarah. Say something. Hold on. Sarah, you just keep bitching. Like, what? Say something. Engage with what I'm saying. What do you think I'm wrong about?
The rest of us are trying to talk, Uncle Tom. How many donos do you think it will take to get Ollie to come back from Africa? I'm starting to get worried about him. I was just kidding.
I didn't understand a word. Example of it being inverse.
Fatty, get out of your feelings, Fatty.
Because you're using an example when it's towards a black person. Give me an example when it's toward a white person.
Glenn, I'm sorry. I apologize. I interrupted you. Can we say it again?
I just wanted Tom to give me an example of what he was just saying as if it was towards a white person, not a black person.
Huh?
We gave one earlier that Sarah said that if she turns down a guy, the guy will automatically say that she's racist and that she's turning him down just because she's racist. That's obviously stereotypes that are put towards white people all the time.
Or for example,
about it.
Or for example, me being picked first on the basketball team because I'm black and Tom gets on the bench.
But then, I'm the bad person. I'm the bad person and I'm the racist because I turned somebody down and suddenly I'm the asshole when he's the one, like the guy who's asking me for my number that I'm turning down.
And you're using
a white woman choosing to turn down a white man.
What's that?
No.
She always says yes.
One second. Sarah is saying this, right? A black man is going to go to her, ask her for a number. She's going to reject him, and she was going to say, "Oh, that's because I'm black." That's unfair. You don't know why
he's presuming. He's presuming it's because it's black. Nobody made it about race except for him, and that's what we see all the time happening.
Who was it?
What if it was?
Who was
quite
it?
A few. There was nobody here, obviously.
Name names.
It was Fatty. It was fat.
Hey, Fatty. Hey, everybody knows that I like big booties, so stop it, Sarah.
Exact.
I like the juicy. I like the extra XL, the juicy.
That's
ones.
a lot of coke,
Sitting
Patty.
around
That's
YouTube
hey,
for quite a while
hey,
now.
hey,
open right now, bro. Keep
you know
going.
what? It was a Tina. It was a Tina. I did that to a Tina. Tina says, "You better stop it, fatty." I said,
But my point is that like those men turned it into race. I just thought they were ugly as shit, and I wasn't interested. No fucking big deal. I turned down any ugly
That's what we're
man,
saying.
right? Like I equally
That's what we're
turn down
saying.
men. I don't
That's what we're
discriminate
saying.
unless you're
So, but-
fucking ugly. But
so,
then
but Sarah-
Wait,
I
that's
am
what we're
made the
saying.
bad guy every fucking time.
No, but that's what
That's what we're saying,
right?
Sarah. That's what we're saying. We're agreeing with you. That's our point.
But
Is that
I'm
that is them
not
doing.
dying over it. Like I'm not like, oh
Nobody
my
said you were.
god. Oh my God, black guys, please don't come
Nobody
ask me
said
for
you
my
were.
numbers.
Glenn
'cause
just
I don't wanna
asked
be-
me for an
I
example
was-
of. Glenn just asked me for an example of a stereotype of somebody doing that to white people and extrapolating these things to white people. That's all he did.
Well,
this was in
a response example to Ali saying, "Oh, well, they tell us to go back to Africa." Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, well, I get called a racist just because I'm a white girl who turned down a black guy. Right? Like, get over
Sure.
it. Nobody fucking cares.
Do you think for white people it can start to become problematic if every time we do anything around the black person, it's assumed to be racist? Do you think that can become like a problem for white people?
I think it's
already there. What are you talking about?
I think it's turned into being problematic, right? Like
Yes, correct. Exactly.
Right.
So it
but
is a problem.
I'm not
It is bad.
I'm not living my life around that either.
No,
I just
nobody's living their,
choose
nobody here
I
is
just-
saying to live their lives around these things.
Well,
The problem is that people are refusing.
Ali
to accept
gave an
reality
example.
and
We're
choosing
here to talk
be a
about race.
victim.
Nobody's living their life around it. That's the topic of the fucking panel. What do you mean?
Is the problem more of them people adopting a victim mindset and trying to blame everything on the other person's skin color, rather than just saying, "Oh, maybe I don't meet up the standard, or I'm not, at par."
Well, it can be sometimes. Yeah, of course. There's a lot of people who blame everything
How often
on
do you think that's the
on
case more than
racism.
it is the
There's
other thing around?
It would depend, but I'm not going to make an extrapolation. We can we can look at them case by case and make that assessment. But the point is that yes, there's a lot of black people who will blame everything on racism. Anytime that they there's somebody who's rude at a black person's rude at a restaurant and the waiter asks them to leave, it's because they're racist. Or if they don't tip enough and the waiting staff is mad at them, it's because they're racist. Like, of course, they're going to blame. There's a lot of people who will blame everything on racism and just try to find some way out of any sort of accountability. That happens, but that doesn't mean that anytime somebody says something's racist, it's automatically that either. That's literally doing the same thing to them, where we're extrapolating something from a small percentage. We're doing literally the same thing that the person who's calling everything racist is doing.
And Glenn, we actually do. We call that out when he's uncalled for, like we did now with Sarah when she said, "Oh, he said that I'm racist." No, she has a preference, but the reality is, the same people that complain about everybody making it racial are the biggest race baiters. They literally roaming the internet looking for something racial to have a conversation about it. Every time a shooting happens and we say, "Don't make it political, don't make it about race," the same people that say, "Don't make it about race," do. See, the usual suspects. The usual suspects. This is why 13% of the like y'all make it about race, and then when we do the same shit, we say, "Why are you talking about race? Race doesn't matter." It does for y'all, because if it wouldn't matter, y'all shut the fuck up and actually judge people by the shit they do instead of by the color of their race. Y'all don't do it, so it's not my problem.
Well, this is my question about, because you brought up the bus attack, right? When that happened, I heard immediately more about the lack of mental health care availability, this, that, and the other. Not the fact that it was this guy murdered this woman. It was, where's the mental health care? Where's this and that?
It's because he was actually diagnosed schizophrenic. And the reason that people were mad is that he was out on the streets in the first place because he was a violent schizophrenic. And they felt like we should have already have known this and put him away so that he never had the chance to do this to somebody again. But it's not that just anytime somebody commits a crime, we automatically assume. Sorry?
They had him available to arrest, right? They had him on that he released on his own recognizance. The judge released him on his own recognizance.
Yes, but what do you know what that was for? Do you know why they released him?
Yeah, it was for calling the cops, saying that while he was in the hospital that they were trying to harm him.
Yeah. So how long, that was 9 months ago in January. How long do you think it makes sense to hold somebody for calling 911 too many times?
Well, I mean, you just said that they should have already had him out of the streets. So maybe for the last 9
Correct.
months until they.
Right, but the problem is that's not the issue. It wasn't that they released him on his own recognizance. The problem is that we don't have healthcare facilities to actually take care of these people, and the little bit that we did have, especially in Democrat cities, are all being defunded across the nation right now, to where we're having less and less resources for these sorts of people. And so while everybody, especially on the right, is crying about the fact that this guy wasn't locked up in some sort of mental facility, well, these mental facilities are currently being defunded. So where are we supposed to put them?
Make a
Well,
silence
I mean, I'm with you on the mental institutions. Like, I think we need to bring those back, please. We could put the T's in there and a bunch of other people's in there that they all have mental health issues, right?
Yeah,
but my question about this is, like, when a white kid is shooting up a school and they said it's a mental health issue, nobody's talking about, oh, he just needs help. He should have gotten the help that he needed. You know, somebody should have put him in the, a doctor should have helped him. No, it's like they shouldn't have had no guns. This is why we shouldn't have, gun laws.
Yeah, you're completely
no. Just to be clear, the right, every time somebody on the right,
every time, even today, they were doing this.
Every fucking time the right has somebody who shoots up a school, the entire right just says, "Oh, well, he had problems. We need to pray for him. He has demons," is what they say. He just
pray for him.
No.
Show me someone that says that.
No, we literally prove it. There was a politician today.
I will show you.
Literally today, there was a politician yesterday that said we should seek revenge and we should fight it. And as soon as they showed that it was a white, Charlie Kirk wouldn't like us to go at him, so let's pray for him. Let's pray for him. Charlie Kirk couldn't. Like, this is what we're talking about. We are looking at the cat. And as soon as we find out it's a black cat, we have a reaction. It's a white cat, we have another reaction. It's a brown cat, we have another reaction. Just like black people, when black people kill each other, kind of nobody cares, right? And then when a white person kills a black person, everybody actually cares. We are saying that white people do the same shit. Y'all don't want to admit it because y'all don't see race. But as soon as y'all do a tweet, as soon as y'all go to the show, there's 400 people in the comment section says the habitual suspects. So it's not about race. It's definitely about race. We might bypass that shit if the person is funny enough, if the person is rich enough, if the person is charismatic enough. But for the regular people, we are having these conversations, and it's always in bad faith because the biggest race baiters, the biggest race warriors will never admit they do that shit. And go ahead once again, Marte.
What makes the biggest race baiters? Like,
because if I say this, Myron Gaines is a race beta, right? The situation yesterday didn't involve no black people at all. And every 2 tweets, you monkeys, he's talking about the people that are celebrating instead of talking about the shooter. He's going out of his way. Of course, black people are going to say shit. Of course, white people are going to say shit. Of course, liberals are going to say shit. Of course, conservatives are going to say shit. And instead of focusing on the person that actually deleted your friend, your hero, whatever, you are going out of your way to call monkeys and to make it about race when people are not involved. You are a race baiter. It's totally fine. The same way if Minister Farrakhan or Umar Johnson make every situation about being black, I would say this person is a race baiter. Because every time something happens between black or white, it's not about the issue, it's about them being black. You would say, yeah, that's kind of right, because they do that shit a lot. But one side is willing to admit that shit. One side is willing to admit Farrakhan is definitely racist. Dr. Umar Johnson, racist. We can actually admit it. Every time is
there ever an issue or instance where the race is a factor in the problem?
If he's racially motivated, absolutely. If I smack an Asian person during COVID because I think China created COVID, that's racially motivated. Like
there were shootings in the early 2000s over the
white bitch. Is that racially motivated?
No, there were numerous shootings in the early.
If I call it a Karen, that's racially
Great
motivated.
Replacement. over the great replacement theory. But yes, what the motivation for this guy, we still don't know. So him saying, I got that white bitch, it could have been that like her dad, stole something from him. And so he wanted to kill her dad's daughter. And then he said, I got that.
You're
white bitch
overlooking a
afterwards.
pretty big dog whistle.
That doesn't say well, no, that's evidence. It's not a dog whistle. I don't think you still don't understand what a dog whistle is, Dusty. I'll be happy to explain it to you later, but don't use the term if you don't understand what it is. I'll explain it to you later. But it isn't that wouldn't qualify as.
But the fact that he said white bitch, that's very particular to.
But there's the thing: if I call her a Karen, I don't call Karen to black woman because there's a term for white woman. The Karen that calls the cops every time something happens on her neighborhood.
I think the Karen is the archetype of a woman that wants.
Sarah, what are you mumbling?
It's a white woman.
To your manager. That's a Karen. That's an archetype.
But that's usually a white woman. We reserve that term to a white woman.
Yes, it is
for a whole class, Sarah.
Yes,
what is a black Karen?
It is a Karen. A Karen is definitely like a racist.
A Karen is a white woman.
But like
a Karen is a white woman that uses the 911.
I don't know how many of you guys. I don't know how many of you guys have done this, but I've for the last like 3-4 months have spent a lot of time debating black people about the fact that they make everything about race on the left, that they call everybody racist on the left, that they say that white people are the only racist and that black people aren't capable of being racist. I spend a lot of time debating people on the left while I'm on the left arguing against their race baiting and their racist slogans and shit. But I don't ever see this from the right. I never see this from the right. Even the few who did, Andrew Wilson used to consistently call out Nick Fuentes. I think that they're on good terms now from last I heard. So I just don't see the same from the right where they actually call out the bad actors on their side. And even when we're calling it out, you guys argue with us about it the whole time.
Because they're getting closer and closer.
I'm not sure if I'm on the right or the left.
Yeah, because you're confused.
It's
like you are trans politics.
I'm trans now.
You are.
You call a black woman the wrong term. So can I get?
If I was, then I would have the ultimate victim card. You cannot disagree with me, or you're transphobic, fatty.
So Glenn, for example, one second, I didn't hear the joke because I'm don't understand English.
Because you're transphobic and you don't listen to us transes.
Yes, we love. Shout out to Neve. We love her. Him, Glenn. That's, for example, the Keisha, the Don Quisha, the boom. Like when a woman is behaving on an aggressive way, we look at her and we don't call her Karen. We do a particular term that is the name that will be LaQuisha, that is kind of considered as black. Like people do that with every person.
Ghetto single mommies. I thought those were.
I hear people say hyenas. That's what I've heard.
Hyenas is an universal term, but what I'm saying, that like you are going. There's some terms for Asian people. There's some terms for Indian people and how they smell, for example, that I'm not going to use here, right? But for the most part, every single racial group usually has a word that is kind of associated to the bad behavior. I don't think that's unfair to say, hey.
Like a Karen is a woman that wants to complain and write a letter to your manager. I'm just trying to understand what's the black version of that.
I don't know.
There are black Karens too.
Why can't we just call them Karens?
No, you can do it.
Hold on. We're not telling you not to. We're just explaining what the stereotypes.
Stop mansplaining to us, Darren.
You can do it. I don't understand what is exactly like what you shouldn't supposed. If you call a black woman a Karen,
you just said that's a term. When a woman behaves that way, that's a term for a white woman. So I'm just wondering.
Yeah. Just like I'm saying. Yeah. Just like black people use the N word between each other, but I guarantee you, somebody called the N word to a white man. I would say that is usually between.
Damn.
I would say that is usually used between black people, but sometimes you may be a ninja. So I don't understand what's the question is about. Okay. Let's go to something that I want to ask you about Charlie Kirk, okay? Charlie Kirk said, and let me put actually the video. Let me play the video real quick because we have the video here. Give me just 1 second. Here we go.
I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal.
Whoops.
Okay, so the question to Athena first, and then Red would be, is this, what's up, Ghost? How you doing?
Okay.
Is what he said about guns, and I'll repeat it again just to make sure that everybody hears it correctly, so I'm not putting words in his mouth, because I'm very bad in paraphrase, like saying by word what they said.
I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights.
I will ask Katina what she thinks about what he said. And fantastic, when you get on camera, let me know so I can bring you up. What do you think about this, Katina? This man was saying, "Hey, there's it's necessary sometimes for us to have some gun deaths for us to get Second Amendment, our God-given right." And
I don't know
kind
about necessary. It happens. And he's 100% right. And he lived and died for what he believed in. And I fully support him in that. And I don't understand how that's funny. It is a reality. If you are going to have guns, there's going to be gun deaths. And it's unfortunate that there are criminals out there who are going to do it. But if we want to protect ourselves against the government, we need to have guns, period. Like, if you take away our guns, then, I mean, the government can just take over. It doesn't even make sense.
Why didn't the good guy with the gun stop the bad guy with the gun?
Honestly, that is a good question. I would like to know why his security. I don't know enough information about that. I feel like there was maybe a security breach, and I'm tired of seeing it happen with conservatives, especially conservatives like himself that do a lot for a lot of different communities and
they didn't
push the same beliefs that I have.
They didn't know where the shot came from. In an amphitheater, it echoed from all over the place. They couldn't have known that it came from up top on the roof.
I don't know. Oh yeah, but you're supposed to secure those areas before. Even though he's not a politician, he does speak, especially talking about, Transformers. You're gonna get. I've personally had like people threaten my life on that particular topic, threatening to burn my house down with my family in it, including my son. So those people are crazy. And so when you're putting yourself out there, there's a certain level of precautions that you need to take. And it's unfortunate that those were not done.
Can I offer something to you, Fatty?
Yes, Miss, and then Ghosty, please. Go ahead.
Okay. Statistically, in 2022, gun deaths total 48,204 in the U.S., while medical malpractice deaths are often cited as the leading cause of death in studies, with one 2016 Johns Hopkins study estimating over 250,000 deaths annually due to medical errors. Should we stop all hospitalization, all medical practices? Should we stop doing surgery? Should we stop giving vaccines? Should we stop sending people to the hospital because people die from medical malpractice?
Absolutely. I think you should pray so your God can help you heal. And you don't need to go to the hospital. She says, "Hey man, please."
I missed the whole fucking point again, Patty.
No,
He's knocking out these straw men.
Yeah, this is a disingenuous question, right? It's
Why
like
is that
saying
disingenuous?
Let me explain why it's disingenuous. People die most driving cars. Driving car is compared with other things that we do. There's a high probability, not high probability, but higher probability that I'm going home and I get hit by a car because somebody is drunk, right? I'm not saying that people shouldn't drive cars. I'm saying we should pass legislation, push information, education to make sure that people drive as safely as possible, not under the
but you're proving his point, though. That is the point. So the majority of Americans do believe that we ought to have the Second Amendment. We ought to be allowed to have guns. And we all know that as long as we do have guns, there will be a certain amount of gun deaths. The gun deaths are the leading cause of children today. But no, it is because hold on. The point is that we take with every right every single right that we have, there's going to be downsides to it. The fact that we want freedom of speech means that there's going to be people who say horrible things and lead people in horrible directions. But we all accept that with the rights that we get with the First Amendment. With the Second Amendment, we know that there's going to be deaths with the Second Amendment, yet we all accept that with the right to have guns. That doesn't mean that we can't have legislation around it to try to minimize this. Just as with cars, we know there's going to be a lot of deaths with cars, but we still allow legislation to put speed limits on things, to say that you have to have a seatbelt, to like try to make it as safe as possible. We do the same with guns.
So your point is easily debunkable, right? So this is what we do. If our healthcare system is bad, we look at the country with the best healthcare system and try to mimic them, right? Right? This happens with everybody. I'm playing basketball and the Spurs are 3-time champions. We go to the Spurs and look at their system and we take the best system of the best team and we try to do it. This is why the league went from a 3-point shooting team to a pick and roll team, a pick and roll game, to a pass to the post, so check and dribble and dunk. This is what we do. If I'm saying that people should look at the best hospitals on the best country in the planet and try to mimic their system, I'm saying to Americans, look at all the countries that have no gun violence. Are you telling me that those people don't have mentally ill people? Of course they have. Mental illness is not an American thing. It happens to everybody in every part of the world. The difference, once again, is on these actually evolved countries that don't have these problems. And for example, Canada doesn't have these problems. And I'm not saying that Canadian people are different than Americans. For whatever reason, they don't deal with this shit every motherfucking week.
That's fucking bandwagon.
I don't know what that is. You just said that my point was debunkable.
Just because also like
you just said my point was debunkable.
No, because you mimic the country with the best results, and the country with best results and less gun deaths has literally virtual no guns in circulation. That's what you should aim
But they
for.
also have the most knife deaths.
No. 1 second, please. I just want to say this is an American thing that you have metal detectors in schools. Is unimaginable that I'm playing basketball or my son is going to school and I'm going to read on the news such and such.
Registered and legal? Are they registered and legal, or are they black market weapons that have been stolen, or this or that or another?
It's a mixture of both, but the problem is that
exists everywhere in the planet. No, 1 second.
Your entire hold on, because you just responded to what I said. I wanted to respond to what you said.
No, I just wanted to say something.
We're going to mimic.
I got you. I just want to say one thing, Sarah.
You didn't get shit.
No,
everyone needs to go back to their country of origin.
I just want to say this real quick, and Tom got it. There's black markets everywhere in the planet, everywhere. And people are not shooting each other every time they get a disagreement or road rage or they go to school. Black market is not an American thing. Actually, I would say it's easier for countries that are closer to Asia, right, or South America, to get these black market and things that actually go through the border in boats and all that shit. Then it's easier to get them on a country like the United States. So respectfully, black markets and mental health is not an American thing, it's a global thing. The only thing the United States have more than everybody else is guns. Y'all have more guns than everybody on the planet combined. Sorry, Tom.
There's a lot more mental health issues in the United States.
Oh, they mad, but I'm not right. I'm not wrong.
What Charlie Kirk said was there might be deaths from people owning guns. It happens. It's part of the cycle, right? And we're giving you the statistics that okay, we still have medical malpractice, even though people still go to hospitals. You could still get hit walking across the street, but we still choose to walk across the street. You could die in a car crash, although dying in a car crash is statistically similar to dying by gun violence, right? But medical malpractice is 250,000 people per year. Dying by gun violence is only 48,000 or something per year. Like, you're missing the mark, Fatty. You're trying to go off on this tangent of like, well, all of these other countries did it, but all of these other countries also don't have the same rights system as we do here in America. Australia,
so it's not. Hold on, it's not the right.
COVID, even Australia during COVID was even they were up in arms against their government because they couldn't even go outside. They had all of these issues, yada yada yada. But they couldn't defend themselves. They couldn't become tyrants or anything like that because they didn't have the weapons to do so, right?
So what?
Okay,
was
so
the,
hold on, wait.
Yes,
You
wait.
said that I could respond after you said the last thing.
Yes,
So,
Tom,
like,
you are right,
the
Tom.
difference
You
is
got
that-
it, Tom. 1 second, just 1 second.
I know.
Tom, and then Miss Ghosty and
And
Glenn Lawrence, please. Okay.
What?
Okay.
What?
So the difference is
I was
that
supposed to go a while ago.
Yeah, she was supposed to go well. So the difference is that you're just looking at, like, you're saying that you said I was debunked because we're just gonna look at what it is that other countries do and try to replicate their outcomes. The problem is that, like, Saudi Arabia has much lower crime rates than we do, yet they're a very they're a totalitarian dictatorship that treats their citizens very, very poorly. We're not going to try to replicate that just because they're willing to do it and they have better outcomes. We have a certain set of values, and some of those values are things like free speech. And again, that free speech can come with a lot more hate crimes and people getting misinformation. Yet we still value that free speech anyways because it's something that is it is part of our entire culture, just the same as having guns and being able to defend ourselves. Even if the majority of the time we're not defending ourselves, we still have that as part of our fundamental culture. And that is not something that we can just say, let's just replicate other countries because of this.
Tom, that's such a bullshit. I'm not talking about Saudi Arabia. I'm talking about Canada. I'm talking about Scotland. I'm talking about Germany. I'm talking about Sweden. If you actually look at the politics, the values, and the morals, most of them are very similar to the United States. Y'all are just gun crazy. Even today, motherfucker, FBI, I see you in Valhalla. I see you in Valhalla, friend. That motherfucker is mentioning something from the north of Europe. The fact that an Indian man goes out of his way to mention something that is from the pagans of north of Europe, like, our cultures are very similar. So I'm not saying be like Saudi Arabia. I'm saying go to Canada, see what's the difference between you and Canada, and make decisions that will get your kid going to school safe and he gets home. And the only difference is guns. A lot of them. Go ahead, Ghosty, go ahead, Glenn. Tomfoolery debunked.
Fatty, I might agree with you if we had a magical button that could snap back history where guns just never was a part of this country. Guns never existed, but they do. And the fact is we're not getting rid of guns. And I do think it's a silly, because there's too many of them. It's just part of our culture. It's just not happening.
Have guns?
Hold on, listen. I do think it's a silly idea to think that the American people are having guns because we're gonna fight back against the American military, the strongest military in the world. That's just fucking retarded. But
yeah, they'd be doing it right now.
People do like their gun rates, okay? The problem is that most of the left doesn't want to get rid of guns, but we want to have a conversation about how to have more gun safety, how to have more I don't know if it's background. We don't know what it is. We want to have some kind of conversation, but the right won't even have that conversation. They don't want to talk about anything. They want to keep everything the exact way it is. So we can't have this conversation. So what Sarah was saying about the medical deaths and stuff, no, of course we don't get rid of medical procedures. We make it a better system. We improve. But we can't have this with guns because the right doesn't even want to talk about it. They want to keep everything the way it is.
We want to talk about more guns.
So then shut the fuck up about Charlie Kirk dying. I don't know what to say.
Ghosty, don't offer solutions. Thoughts and prayers.
Also, by the way, why can't we just have drones? Why can't we just have drones in the sky at these events? I feel like that would be so simple.
Just
put drones in the
I
sky.
think
Thoughts and prayers. That's the
right
best
might
thing
be
they can offer.
concerned, having a conversation with people that don't even know what gender they are. So they're if you can't even have
that's such a fucking stupid. That's so disingenuous.
I'm just saying,
that doesn't even make sense.
Understand the basics of gender.
What does gender have to do with guns?
Was that the sexy remark?
Hold on, Fatty made a really
Was that the sexy remark?
Fatty made a really stupid point.
I wanted to point out, you guys know that only 7% of prisoners in state prison actually were in prison when they got busted with a gun. That was actually a gun registered to them, and 8% of federal prisoners who got busted with the gun was actually registered to them. Only 1 to 2% of all gun crimes are committed by the person whose the gun is registered to. So most of these criminals are criminals using guns that are not theirs, that they shouldn't be in possession with to begin with. So it's not law-abiding citizens that are committing these crimes.
Let me
No,
answer, and then you got it,
Patty.
Marte. Let me answer, and then you got it, Marte. Sir, yesterday there was a 13-year-old kid that was caught with like 20 guns. Literally yesterday, a 13-year-old kid that were caught with 20 guns. I myself, Ferry, as a 35-year-old, don't know where I can get 2 of them. And this is about
Getting
the
ready
market.
to shoot up a school.
Patty, hold on.
1 second, please. If you know that you can smoke crack by going to the corner, it's more probable that you're going to smoke crack because every corner has a crackhead or a person selling crack. But if that is not readily available to you just by going to an auction, asking it on your cousin, behind the bed of your dad, is regular that you're going to actually get a bunch of them. What the fuck is going on? That's crazy.
Fatty, you made a really dumb point earlier, and I'll tell you where.
You are dumb.
Where's the good guy with the gun? Isn't the university a gun-free zone? That makes our point, not yours. So to me, that doesn't really make.
Oh my God!
Do you seriously do you seriously think a person with a gun would have been able to stop that shooter on the roof?
Still our point. That still.
Where was the good guy with the gun, Martin?
When has that ever happened? Can you name one situation where that's like ever happened?
Yeah, I can
That
name lots of
happened quite
anecdotally in my
frequently.
life.
How about like when
Less
like,
than
someone-
1%.
that happens
According
quite
to the
frequently
FBI,
with
less
someone
than
with a
1%.
gun.
Hey, Trump,
Less than hold on, wait, according to the FBI, less than 1% of gun deaths have a good guy with a gun, or less than 1% of gun crimes have somebody fight back with a gun. So like it's almost never.
How do you measure something that doesn't happen?
Maybe we need to arm more people. If more people were able to conceal
How do
carry,
you
maybe
measure
that percentage
something
would
that
be higher.
doesn't happen?
I don't know what do you mean?
I just don't understand how like
I just
more-
said it's less than
Because
1%.
if a crime doesn't happen, there's nothing to measure.
He's saying if
No, they
more
include
people were concealed carry and we were under the understanding that more people can conceal carry at any given moment and in any given place, how many of these crimes probably wouldn't happen knowing that somebody could be armed? Whoever you're messing with could be the good guy with the pew pew.
Anecdotally, I can say I've stopped 3 situations from escalating because I had a gun. I didn't have to do anything.
You know what? I think
I'm saying anecdotally
because I
because
have a
all you
bald
can do
head
is all you can
and
do
people are
since the
scared
situation did
that-
not happen. There's not
Yes.
statistics on it.
True, actually, and I think because I have a bald head and there's more trans people around, more people are too scared to commit crimes, and that's why a lot of crimes just don't
Man,
happen.
dog
is
shit.
'cause we need more trans people and more bald
look,
heads.
There's technically.
trans?
Where did you get that stat from? Because I just looked it up and I can't find it at all.
What's that?
The
FBI
1%, less than 1% of people are essentially
Yeah, I'll send it.
gun crimes are stopped by someone who also has a gun. Because
I'll put it in
I'm
the-
looking up.
Private chat.
Damn,
Okay,
Tom.
thank
Damn,
you.
Tom. You better fight
and
back.
I wonder if that's
I'm just
referring
saying,
to like
in theory,
citizens, 'cause law
that's
enforcement
actually
stop a lot of gun crimes with guns.
no, but there's the thing, right? You are going to
Yeah.
escalate because everybody got guns. This is what happens, for example, in my country. And I know it's anecdotal because I live on the 4th safest country on the planet. But when I get stopped by the cops, I know I'm going to make it home. I might do a detour and go to jail for a little bit if I'm drinking or I'm doing something stupid, but I know I'm going to make it home because the cops are not on their tippy toes extra aggressive because everybody has guns. So they have to be on defense all the time. This is what happens on the United States because, everybody has a gun. The cops, if you're driving and there's a road rage incident, if you're playing basketball, I shouldn't want to fight tomfoolery because maybe tomfoolery has a gun on his bag. But the reality is actually happens worst. You should put a dress on it, Marte. You should lower Dexter pants and show his booty. So
Well, that just means you're a police officer.
hey, Marte, you better not fuck with me. I'm upset.
So your cops are lax and not expecting
I
it.
shoot
Our
back.
cops
Go
are
ahead.
expecting it.
You better
So that
stop
means
me, Marte.
they're more lax.
That's you. Go ahead.
No. But
that's his point, though. Like,
yeah, but that's
But
my
that's
point.
not
right?
that's not necessarily a good thing. Why do you want your cops to be more lax? I would want my
well,
cops.
no,
to be
there's
fair to
less
everybody.
tension. There's
it's
less
not more-
immediate tension. Every time a cop pulls somebody over, they're automatically thinking like, "Oh, my life could be at risk," because
Yes,
they might have a
that's
gun.
reality, though. That's reality.
Okay,
No,
but
but
pulling
they don't
someone
have to-
over
they
for
don't
a
need
traffic
gun to end
stop.
someone's life.
But
They don't
that's
need
my
a gun to
point,
end his
Glenn.
life.
Glenn, but that's my point. If you like, what did they say? If you are a hammer, you're only going to see nails, something like that. Like the American people know that not most, but a lot of Americans carry. So they have to be on their guard all the time. They're going to escalate situations because as soon as I put the hands on my pocket, oh, don't put your hands on your pocket. Don't. In Portugal, if I put my hands on my pocket, he's going to ask, "Sir, are you trying to get rid of some drugs? Like, what's going on? Why are you putting your hand on the I don't know what you call the place where you put the papers and all that shit." So is different, right? Because I'm expecting to get home, and the cop is expecting to get home too. If everyone is armed, like that's not the expectation. As soon as you reach for the papers or for something, I'm going to assume that you're trying to reach for a gun. How is that not understandable?
No, it's understandable,
Sounds
but
more
there's nothing wrong with
cultural.
it. There's nothing
No,
wrong
sounds
with
like
the
guns.
cops
Sounds like
being
everybody has a gun.
Sounds like
Yeah, I would
felons are
rather
stupid
assume
people.
that all guns are loaded, right? Treat all guns as if they're loaded. So treat
Well,
all people
and
as
those
they might
cops don't know
possess,
you. Those,
because not everybody
those-
needs a gun to kill you. A
No.
knife could do it.
For me to get a gun in Portugal, I need to do a bunch of things.
I
A
could
bunch
teach
of
you how to
things.
make one
But
real quick.
But that
he's so
doesn't mean, like,
rigorous.
okay.
And 1 second, Glenn. He's so rigorous that when people threaten me, Ferry, I'm going to Portugal and I'm going to get you. I says, bro, your shit is going to be stuck in customs. I know for a fact you're not going to do nothing to me. You are going to be mad. You are going to get to customs, and Portuguese customs is going to say, sir, are you John Wick? Are you like, who are you to be carrying guns like that? But if I go to the United States, I have to be on my P's and Q's because I know everybody has one. So I would say
but like, it doesn't mean that. What I'm getting at is like, if you got pulled over, you could simply easily kill the cop with a knife, just as you could easily kill him with a gun. So
As
why would the
easily?
cops
Are
be
you
allowed-
serious?
No.
Yeah, you don't have to. You don't have to be that far away to hurt somebody with a knife.
Glenn,
It's not easier.
No. I want to ask a question, Glenn. Am I Arrow? Am I like, is my name Arrow? Like the superhero that has the arrows and shit? Like, if you are not Falcon or Arrow or Olympic arrow thrower, whatever the fuck it is, of course the man is extra safer, because if
Now
I
you're
have a
talking
gun,
about distance, though. You're talking about
You have to
distance.
open the door, first of all.
Yes, that's the point, though.
Getting pulled over. You
His
said
point,
pulled
though,
over.
Ben, is that distance gives you a benefit.
Tom,
Distance gives you a benefit. The
Tom,
fact that the guy was on the roof when he killed Charlie Kirk makes a huge difference. You couldn't have killed
I
him
was
with a knife
talking
from the
about
roof, right?
the example that
You don't know how hard he can
said
throw.
you're getting pulled
Glenn,
over by a
one
cop.
second, please.
If you're
Hey,
getting pulled
Glenn.
over by a cop, whether you
let
have
me
a
give you
knife
let
or
me
a
give you
gun,
this
you are
data.
still a
Glenn,
threat.
let me give you this data. Portuguese cops have guns. They just don't use it. They will be cops for 30 years and never pull the gun out. So if I have a knife and I take the knife away, you still have the option to actually shoot me. The option is still there. But it doesn't happen because, once again, if you don't live in a culture of fear, because you fear the person in front of you might have a pew-pew, and you know how people get emotional, instead of actually going and escalating the situation, you are going to try to de-escalate it, because, once again, it's something that is rare to happen. Do you think it's cultural, or do you think it's just the abundance of guns that make people go gun crazy and be afraid of this shit?
I don't think there's a gun craziness. I think it's their cultural issues could be applied to. Maybe it's a combination of both. But you know what? I'd rather, live in a society where, like, I think everybody has a gun, because that kind of keeps everybody accountable, rather than, in a society where, oh, this is safe, and then somebody pulls out a gun, you don't have it, and then now you
You're
wish you had one.
you're assuming that people are actually like level-headed and intelligent beings who actually care about each other and stuff. Like, to be honest, I don't like that every time I go to a concert, I'm like, or anytime I'm in a crowd, I'm literally worried that there's going to be a shooting. Like, I hate that feeling. That's just
But wouldn't
me,
you
though.
rather have one and not need it than need it and not have it?
Oh, here we go.
In that scenario, would you?
And now
rather have
everybody
one
has
and not
guns,
need it
and
than
now
need it and not
everybody's
have
afraid
it?
of each other
I'd
because
rather
everyone has guns.
not worry about like getting shot by some crazy
take
person.
worry away, because worry is not a reality. We can't remove worry. So when we know there's bad people and there's good people, and the bad people have guns and good people have guns. In that scenario, would you rather have one and not need it than need it and not have it?
Well, no, Glenn, you're not wrong. But what she's saying is the fact that like states that or even countries that allow more guns and have looser gun regulations have more gun deaths. And so
Yes.
she's saying
Well,
that
that's
the
true.
fact
But
that
we
they
also know
have
that-
more guns makes it to where she's more afraid of having to get shot, and therefore she would need one. Whereas if they just didn't allow so many people to have guns, that's not my position, but I'm just saying that's what she's
Wouldn't
saying.
that mean you just have to worry about something other than that? Because look at the UK. They have no guns, but they have 1 billion knife deaths. I mean, they got a knife spree going around
Okay.
up there.
No,
Right?
it's not comparable. What's he
Death
doing there?
death isn't impossible, but obviously it's a lot easier to
Well, I'm
kill
saying, like, you
more
could-
people with
remove
guns.
Hey,
one,
Glenn,
then you
if
can
you are a
increase the other.
12-year-old with a
How
Glenn,
many schools in the UK had mass killings with knives?
we cannot.
Yeah.
Hey, Glenn, if you are a
I don't know, I
12-year-old with
watch
a
UK
hey,
news.
Glenn, let me ask you this: if you have a student, you are a teacher, and you have a 12-year-old with a gun, I will kick you on your motherfucking head so fast it's not even funny. Like
I'll be the teacher with the gun.
no, but that's the thing, Glenn. Let me ask you something. Why are the cops in UK they don't have guns? Why?
They got billy clubs and stuff. I don't know.
Because they're F
No.
slurs.
No, it's because, for example, in countries like Iceland, in countries like Norway, in countries like the not Ireland, I think Northern Ireland has guns, but the English, they don't have guns because the general population doesn't have guns either. So I don't need a bazooka if everybody doesn't have a bazooka, right? I don't need the extra military with the SWAT and all that shit. When I know for a fact I can only knock down on a person that says, hey, why is there so much noise? I give this example all the time, right? Americans get swatted all the time, especially content creators. When they get big enough, they get swatted all the time. You know what the SWAT team is called in Portugal? Old cop and a lady comes to my door and knock, tuk, tuk, tuk. It's 1 a.m. in the morning. Why are you being so loud? That's what it is. Because they expect that there's no lethal force involved. So why are we talking about mental health and culture and all that shit when only the difference between Europeans and Americans is guns? Come to Europe and come. Hey, Glenn, come to Europe and watch. Hey, Glenn, come to Europe and watch a soccer game. Real Madrid versus Barcelona. Chelsea. You know, hey, Glenn, one second. Let me just finish and then you got it. We have something called hooligans. These motherfuckers are more violent than anybody that you can have on your side of town.
Hooligan.
Yeah, I can't pronounce the A's. I'm Portuguese. God damn it. Hooligans. Okay?
Hooligans.
Right? Hooligans, right? These people are more violent. They are violent for sport. They literally call each other and says, my team is going to play your team. Before the game or after the game, we're going to meet each other and we're going to fight each other. You know why such violent people can go to weekends over and over and over again? Because there's no guns. Because the day that we implement a bunch of guns over here is as soon as you punch me, you out. So respectfully, it's not cultural. It's just the abundance of guns, and the only solution y'all have is thoughts and prayers. And let's hope next week.
The only solution is more guns.
Marte, was that a Colt 45? What did you just pound the bottom of?
I mean, I think
that
here's
was
the biggest problem. Think about this. The only time the soft targets are like gun-free zones. Those are the ones that tend to get shot.
It looked like a 40 ounce.
It's not the places where you think people are going to get shot, right? Like, okay,
Are you
like a
racially
firing range.
stereotyping?
Who thinks to get?
You think only black people
shot at
drink
a
Miller?
firing range? Nobody plans on getting shot at a firing range, but it's always these soft targets like the schools, the churches, where guns are not allowed, right? Tend to be the places where they get shot. Maybe if guns were
Don't
allowed
most of them happen at
most
home?
people would not shoot them.
No, but most
of them happened at home.
No, Tom is not even there.
Probably
The
accurate.
access to guns, the easy access to guns, make you feel reluctant to put your kid on a public school, knowing that every motherfucking 2 days there's a school shooting. Like that, and the school shooting only happens. You know why? Because Glenn has 7 guns, and Powder Dusty has 7 guns, and
12.
Tom Foolery has 7 guns. And my kid can steal 1 gun from you, and you don't even notice.
This is
because
very
you don't
important for me to
have-
clarify because Marte's here. I have 0 guns.
I'm just saying. Like, this happens because I can actually sneak a gun out and go to school, and you wouldn't even notice because everybody's full of guns.
Again, people here are going to have guns,
Americans
but
are full of
That
guns.
speaks to more of not practicing good gun safety at home, right?
Well,
That's not has nothing to do with the
You don't
gun
need good-
or the gun
you don't
owner.
need gun
I mean,
safety
the
if
gun
you don't
owner
have no
should have
guns.
locked his guns up If that was the case, then you wouldn't have that problem. So it's not even a gun.
So no, but Glenn, this is the thing, right? For example, kids are bullied in both sides of the ocean. If I'm bullied, I'm calling my older brother and we're going to fight, right? Or I grab a stick, or I grab a brick, or this is how we solve things. I used to fight all the time when I play basketball. I know I'm going to get.
You can still kill somebody with a stick, and you kill somebody with a brick if you just hit them in the head, right? So
but that's not that, Glenn.
Ultimate outcome, right?
Glenn, would you rather fight somebody with a brick or a gun?
Depends on the fight.
I'm shooting Jesus.
Oh my God, Glenn.
I know this is the disingenuous shit.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
So why do you have a cabinet full of guns and not bricks? So why don't you have a cabinet full of bricks? Why do you have a cabinet full of guns? Just keep a bunch of bricks around then, right?
I got the bricks on the front yard, so don't worry, they're there
to hide behind when you.
Damn. Hey, Glenn, there's a reason why Americans don't have a
object. Not the gun is the issue. It's access to the gun, and it's who has the gun.
This is why the left wants to have conversations about how we can have better gun responsibility and gun safety. But like I said earlier, the right doesn't eat. You guys don't want to. You guys want to keep everything the exact way it is. So then just.
So they will say thoughts and prayers.
Why do you keep bringing that up? Why do you not? Why are you talking about gender when we're talking about guns?
Reality.
We're not talking about gender. We're talking about fucking guns. I don't know why you keep obfuscating.
I find that offensive.
One thing does lead to the other.
No, it actually doesn't. Talking about gun safety has nothing to do.
Is the truth. The truth is a principle all the way across. So if you can't answer that,
so you just don't want. So
then I don't know. How do I know that you can?
I'm not answering that question because we're talking about guns right now. Like, I just think it's actually stupid and retarded, and you're just
you want to talk about gun safety. What you mean is you want to convince people who legally own guns to legally own less guns.
No, it's not. It's not about. Okay. No. It's not about how many guns you own. It's about who.
The type of guns that legal owners are allowed to own. You want people who are law-abiding citizens to give up their rights to do something.
No, not necessarily.
Absolutely. How name another gun?
I want to have a conversation about the steps people take to get guns, the people who are getting guns. Maybe the type of gun. The fact that you can build your own gun is like a little sketchy.
Ghost, you know what's funny?
Like I just want to have these conversations, like how
you want
the age maybe.
Home-built guns to be illegal now. Exactly.
No. I just want to say this real quick, right? The same people that say to us every day, rights don't exist. Rights are made up. Every time we talk about guns, they say, "This my God-given right. It's my right to have a gun." I thought all of that was made up. I thought all of that was made up, and all of a sudden you can't get rid of something that is made up.
What are you talking about?
They say guns our rights are protected by force.
Jesus loves his AK-47.
Yeah, you can punch people.
So they said, isn't the rights protected by force? So they're using their gun to protect that right, and they're going to use that force.
Rey Mysterio doesn't need guns. Why do you need guns? Why don't you fight with your hands like a man?
Different things.
No, my question is why people don't fight each other like a man.
Things.
That's crazy.
Are you trying to emasculate somebody with a gun now?
Are
you man shaming now, fatty?
No. I'm not man shaming. I'm just saying if people have a problem with it,
less of a man because he has a firearm.
No. Actually, let me say this. I think that people that actually solve their shit with their fists are more of a man than men that do pew pew. My second amendment, my drone. Like, I believe that if you're getting robbed, if you are actually in a situation where you don't want to fight and people try to fight you, I agree you should have the right to defend yourself. But when two people have a clear disagreement and they want to fight, I think pulling a gun or saying I'm going to pew pew you is the most bitch ass motherfucking shit that ever is, because why you try to kill me for a random conversation on YouTube?
If you start a fist fight and you get your ass kicked and you get mad and you go grab a gun, that's a bitch move.
I
don't think that's the majority of the issue here.
I agree with that too. I agree with that too.
Or you could be like Tom Foolery and just shove dog shit in your opponent's mouth.
Wait, what?
What?
This is probably
what would you say?
What's the lore behind this?
This is a great story.
What's the
I got into a fight a while ago, and while I was in a fight with a guy, the guy's dog had just shit on the ground, so I picked up the dog shit and shoved it in his mouth and his eyes.
I will say this: if the guy pew pew you, Tom, I wouldn't be surprised. I would be like,
But they had guns pointed at me while I was doing this. So
You guys hear me?
To be fair, they had guns
again,
pointed at me while I was doing this.
Busting.
I have to.
But Ghosty,
Martin,
what
we
is
can hear you.
what is
Yeah, we can
the
hear you.
process that you would like for the gun ownership?
So I don't know, like the ideal process. Again, I just want to have a conversation about it. Like maybe
About taking away
maybe
people's legal gun ownership. We
maybe like a certain
Not
until
instant-
you're 21, you're not allowed to own certain types of guns. Like you're
Would
allowed
that
to
have
own
saved
like
Charlie Kirk.
certain types of guns until you're 21,
Would that have
or
saved
like
Charlie Kirk?
you need some kind of training before you're allowed, or there's like a amount of time.
All these are
Yeah, like
that would have saved Charlie
I'm all
Kirk, and
for,
so
like,
we can
anybody with a
reject them
firearm
wholesale.
should have to go through a firearm safety and
We have
training
that.
program.
Well, we weren't
and
even
be
talking about
clarified-
things that
Why
clear
don't we
before
just
you
have
register a
firearm
firearm? I'm all
safety
for that.
in school, public schools? Teach everyone how to handle guns. Everybody, whether they're going to have one or not.
Because everyone.
Yeah,
has to-
this isn't
There's a
even
point.
about whether or not it would save Charlie Kirk, because this was a conversation about the statements made by Charlie Kirk and the fact that he said that he would rather us have guns, even though there's going to be a certain amount of deaths. So we're having a conversation.
And he
about
stood in that
not what-
square.
And once again,
what he's saying that he knows he can't get rid of gun violence altogether.
No, let me just say
right?
this, Glenn.
So there's going to be gun deaths.
Yes.
Glenn,
So this-
also, your
so
your
this
mic is still
one
doing
second.
it, and
So
you're
this is-
super quiet.
Yeah,
so-
it's really
so
hard
this-
to hear you.
So this is my statement, right? He didn't deserve to die. I hope the person that killed him gets whatever happens to them, the most egregious. But he said it. He said it. I don't think people thought it was him, and this is what I'm talking about. When people are saying this about random kids and random people across the United States, nobody has a problem with it because he's right. But when it happens to somebody close to you, now all of a sudden you don't want us to use the words that he said against him. I'm going to move the conversation to a second thing, and then we're probably going to talk relationship and wrap it up. Sarah.
Yes.
Oh shit.
And I know, Sarah, I know. So I'm just asking you first because of this, right? He said that he doesn't believe in empathy. That is a made-up word, right? And the people that were defending him was literally asking on Twitter and Reddit, why are you doing all these memes and clowning him? Don't you guys have no empathy? Should we have empathy for him, or should we follow his words and say the dude doesn't believe in empathy, so he gets nothing from me?
It's not empathy. It's just plain respect. It's human decency. That's all it is. It's just plain respect. Somebody passes. Somebody passes away out of respect to those who were close to that person. Just out of respect. You don't even have to give a shit. It's just respect. Just respect.
Right,
to say.
But why would you care about respect towards them? Why would I want to give them respect?
Self-serving. You can see the self-interest.
Empathizing with them, maybe.
No.
So for people,
You want to be empathetic to the family's hardships.
Just 1 second, friends, just to make sure that we have the right quote. I can't stand the word empathy. Actually, I think empathy is a made-up new age term that does a lot of damage. Now I got the correct quote. You got it.
Yeah, I've done several
That wasn't the end of the quote. That was not the end of the quote.
There's a little bit
He
more.
continued saying that compassion is a better word.
Actually,
Finish
he
the whole
says
quote,
sympathy is
Fatty.
another word because he doesn't like the word empathy, because when you use empathy, you take on the person's emotions, and that draws your decision. He said he'd rather use sympathy because you will be able to make a decision without taking on the person's emotions and have a valid point when you're talking with someone. That's why he was saying that.
What is
Fatty straw man got turned away at the door.
No. It's fine. I like.
Did he say it was a made-up word?
No. 1 second. I'm not Marte. I am not trying to win a debate just because I want to win a debate. Sorry, Marte. I'm just saying.
Wait, but did he say sympathy was a made-up word?
I have the exact quote. He said He believes in sympathy, feeling pity or concern for someone suffering, but not empathy because you're taking on that person's feelings. That's why he doesn't believe in empathy.
Empathy is a weakness. Empathy is a weakness.
Empathy is not a weakness. What?
Yes,
it is.
Just
Doesn't
because you
God
can
tell
put
you
yourself
what-
in somebody else's
That was
shoes
the
and
most thanks.
understand
Doesn't
what they're
God
feeling,
tell
that
you
doesn't
to
make
be
you weak.
Hold on, don't
I hate
empathy.
this
Empathy,
idea.
empathy literally makes you sympathetic. How can you even know what? How can you
Yeah,
feel
so-
something about what someone's
okay,
going
so-
through without knowing
So,
or trying to feel what
I
someone's
mean,
going
for
through?
example, when you are you an empath, that means you take on the person's feelings and emotions.
Yeah,
You
yes,
take-
but pretty
But
much
the idea is
the greatest
idea is when you empathize with his family, you're trying to think, okay, if I if my family died, I wouldn't want a bunch of people running around like making fun of me, saying they're glad that this person died. Like that's empathy. Whereas like sympathy is saying like, oh, that sucks. Like I could understand how that sucks. But empathy is like,
No, but you asked you asked a great question. Why should we show sympathy? It's the empathy. Who is this person? What was their life like? What do I feel like about what he just went through, or if I can feel like what he went through? The empathy is what makes someone sympathetic. If you can't even think about what someone else felt through, or even connect to what someone's went through, how can you even give them sympathy? You don't even know what it feels like.
You can give them respect. The problem with empathy and sympathy is they're both dependent on you feeling a certain sort of way. So it goes down if you're tired. It goes down if you don't know the person. Respect, you can accomplish everything better with respect that people lean on empathy for. Empathy is the
That's
weakness.
because you respect people that are closer to you and people that have more
That
power.
you care about.
When you have sympathy,
one second, Red. I got you, Red. It's just 1 second uninterrupted, Red. Respect a lot of times comes with power. If there was a 1 million subscriber YouTuber right here, we probably have more respect for him than you have for Ferry, because Ferry only has 15,000. Respect is not actually fair. A lot of people gain respect for
It's more
shit
fair
that
than
should be
empathy.
respected about.
Y'all moved the goalpost though. They
No,
moved
no,
more fair
but
than
then, no,
but the goalpost was moved.
yeah,
to
but there's
respect.
one second, please. One
We're
second,
talking about
please.
emotions.
Oh, yeah. But Ali, this is what I'm saying to Powder and then Petty Red, right? If I respect you because you have 1 million subscribers and you fall out of grace, right? I won't respect you anymore. But if I have empathy for you, no matter how many subscribers you have, if I put myself on your shoes, I will always feel sympathy for you because I'm putting myself on your shoes and I'm treating you like a human
I
being.
disagree. I think that respect none of them are perfect, but I think respect is more stable than empathy.
That's not sympathy. Oh, you
Can I address that? Because
No, one second,
They were
please.
saying the
One second,
respect
please.
comes
I interrupted Red.
afterwards, so,
I
like-
interrupted Red, and then you guys can have it.
I was just going to say the difference between sympathy and empathy. So when you're being empathetic with someone, like I was saying, you actually absorb that person's emotions. Like you actually start boohoo crying and you get depressed and you go through all of these things when you're empathetic with a person. But when you have sympathy, you kind of keep it at a distance. Yes, that's the definition. You can look it up.
No, it's not.
I'm looking at the definition. That is not the definition.
Excuse me, I'm talking. You care about someone. You care about how they feel. You care about what has happened. That's sympathy.
I'm looking at the definition too. That's not
Yeah,
what
I'm
you're
looking at
saying.
the definition. The definition is
Hello,
about
but
the, like,
I'm talking. You do not
unfortunately,
have to take on their actual emotions. You do not have to take on their problem, what they're feeling. You don't have to take on the depression that they're feeling. That's when you have empathy. When you have sympathy, it's at a distance. You care. You love them. You share what they're feeling. I'm so sorry for what happened to you. That's sympathy. It's a difference. And that's what he was saying.
I'm saying you're wrong.
100%. No, she's 100% right. And the thing is our feelings and emotions change. And if you base everything on your feelings are going to cloud your judgment. That's why sympathy, I agree with the respect thing, but even sympathy, I'd say sympathy with respect is a lot better than empathy, because empathy, you're experiencing that person's emotions and it's going to cloud your judgment.
Okay, Tom, do you want to read it or should
you can care about someone you don't respect. Just because you respect someone, just don't mean you'll care for them. So that's another thing too. Even if I respect someone, don't mean I necessarily care for them. But I can care for them and not respect them. So the empathetic part is when you're trying to feel what the person is feeling. And if that's typically if you care about them, and that's where sympathy will come sometimes as well too. But mostly, if someone doesn't care about an individual, they're not even going to give them no sympathy nor no empathy. It's a lot of times I'm like, I don't care. There's people that die in other countries. There's people that's in poverty right now. Most people don't even give a damn about what they're going through because they don't care about them. It's only when you actually caring about the person or their situation where empathy and sympathy comes into play.
And I'm saying that's a
So
shortcoming.
the definition according to Oxford is the ability to understand the feelings
Because
of another. So
here,
you don't
I can
actually
treat
have
them
to
both.
have those feelings.
You can also
We don't
go
need to
down to
negotiate the
just
semantics forever because I can
plain-
treat empathy and sympathy as if the same thing because they both have the same shortcoming, which it depends on you, the
Feelings.
observer, to actually give a fuck. Whereas if
Mhm.
you just operate in a system of respect for other people, it doesn't matter what sort of mood you're in or whether or not you like that person. You recognize somebody just died. I'm not going to make a joke about them right now. Right.
If you respect them, you also have to give a fuck. What do you mean?
No, you don't.
No, because you operate
don't
on
even
respect,
have-
meaning
You don't even have to respect the person. You can respect the concept of basic human decency. You can also respect yourself and your own fucking dignity.
That's called empathy.
You can also respect in your own fucking dignity as a person to say, you know what? I think I'm above making fun of someone who just passed away. I'm above making fun of someone who's just murdered. I'm above that.
That's
I
called
respect
sympathy.
myself. No, that's not sympathy. That is
You're literally
self-respect.
defining
Hey,
sympathy
one
right
second,
now.
Tom.
You
Hey,
literally
Sarah,
just defined sympathy.
Hey, Sarah, can I ask you a question? Can I respect my enemies and still try to?
So, do y'all think it's more helpful to someone?
My mouth was moving. 1 second.
It's
Fatty,
always moving, fatty. That's why you're
Yes,
fatty.
that's why I have big
We're
lips.
victims. We're victims. So let us be victims, please.
I'm glad you're back from Africa.
I know I ate a lot of donuts. I was going to bring you some donuts. I'll tell you where you can get them, but the white man put tariffs on them.
I'm actually from New York, okay? Thug life. So this is what I'm going to say, Sarah. Can I respect my opponent and my enemy because they are an incredible enemy and still try to do the most damage possible to them? Can I respect my enemies and still want to delete them to? Can I do that?
Can you still respect them and still take them out in one blow?
Yes.
Yes.
So how does that respect helps me not go? I can see, hey, Martin is a giant. I have to respect his muscles and his force. But if you fuck with me, I'll fuck him up. How does that stop violence exactly?
It's still just out of you're not at war with somebody who just passed away, fatty. It's a whole different concept. It's just simply out of
Not
respect.
anymore.
No, out of empathy, not respect.
This is where respect could have done what empathy didn't do for Tom.
Let me say this, and then I got it because Ghosty's on the backup. I'm going to drop again, right? I don't mock Charlie Kirk because I have empathy towards him and his family. I would never want something to happen to me or to actually, for example, the political commentators that were very affected about it. If Andrew or Destiny or Myron or any of these people that I disagree fundamentally a lot of times with these things, I will never want this to happen to them. And I understand why I will be scared because I was literally saying this is one of the advantages of talking from the other side of the ocean. I'm safe. Nothing is going to happen to me, right? So I have empathy for him and for the people that is going to be on this position because I would hate tomorrow to wake up and now he's somebody that is a political commentator like Tom or like Marte, and now he happens to something that a person that I actually know and actually appreciate. You see what I'm saying? So his empathy is not respect because a lot of those people, I don't respect them respectfully. I think a lot of these people are coons. I don't respect them not because they are wrong, it's because they are sellouts. Every time they have an opportunity to shit on people that look like them, they will take it. So I would not say I don't want you dead because I respect you. I don't want you dead because I have empathy for you. You have a family, you have a business, you have friends. I don't want them to go through the same thing that this man did, right? So
it can still be out of respect for common human decency.
Like we just had a perfect
Right.
example. What Tom just
I think
did,
you can go next,
what
sorry.
Tom just did showed a failure of empathy, but it could have been solved by the presence of respect.
Well, so that I don't respect Charlie Kirk though, and I the problem is
Right.
that like
But if you just operated-
empathy is, but sympathy is that like you understand what that person's going through. I'm looking.
So
at
nothing could have gotten you to stop from making that comment right
to
there.
understand their feelings. Not that I'm getting all emotional and oh boo-hoo, but I do understand that like if for his family, what it would be like that this would be hard, especially with people sharing videos all over the place of like blood squirting out of his neck. This is horrific, and I can't like imagine what that would be like. And then all of these fucking TikTokers running around saying that this is good, that they're happy he died. It's fucking disgusting, and I can't imagine what that would be like to be in their shoes. Sorry, that's empathy. Sorry, sympathy is just understanding that like the concept of something is bad. So like,
to not make
isn't it simply to say like sympathy is I see your pain, empathy I feel your pain.
So
and
no.
then
The difference. Hold on. The exact difference is I can sympathize with Charlie Kirk's family because it's a horrible thing, but I can't empathize because I haven't been through that myself. So I can empathize with somebody who's been through something that I have been in their shoes. Like I can feel their pain, but I can only sympathize with people who have been through something that I haven't been through, but I can understand probably what they're feeling. That's literally the difference.
So if you're going through something extremely emotional and like you need someone to essentially be a rock, do you want them to empathize with you and be emotional and maybe make bad decisions? Or do you want someone who's going to, can I please finish? Or do you want someone who's going to sympathize and have a clear mind and not be as emotional as you to give you direction? Or do you want someone to be selfish and make it about themselves so they feel what you're feeling instead of actually giving you the direction that you need and the comfort that you need? Because if you are feeling the same thing as them, you're not going to be able to comfort them the way that they need.
That's not true. It's not about being emotional. No, I literally just explained to you the difference, and it has nothing to do with being emotional. It's just about an understanding.
No, you're addressing the first part of the definition.
Let
The
me get back
second part,
in. Please.
I tag in Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, so let me get back in. So I think what Ghost is saying, or that's her name. Yeah,
Ghost,
it doesn't mean that your default going to be emotional. It just means you've been there and you've experienced it. So just because I lost my mom, I can be there for you because you lost your mom. That doesn't mean I'm emotional with you. So I don't know how you're getting to that point of where just because a person is empathizing, that they're therefore emotional and just uncontrollable. No,
that's what empathy is.
Simply, hey, I went through this. I can give you some guidance because I've actually experienced it. Empathy is hey, I feel bad for you, okay, and it's fucked up that it happened, okay.
He's 100% right.
Sarah's resting non-empathetic face.
Yeah, I have no empathy for any of you.
I have a question. I wanted to give is this quick. So was his wife and kids there when it happened? They were there, but they actually witnessed it happening. Were they in out?
Oh,
they were there.
I didn't know
that. So you guys confirming it for me, and I'm like, bro, that's super duper traumatic. No matter how you feel about that, this man's kids, like their dad died, within yards from him, right? And
somebody I know was literally the guy who was debating him at the time. He was literally in the middle of having a gun debate with Charlie when Charlie got shot.
Yeah. I think his family was in like the first row, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's wild.
It's just crazy to me that y'all say that people can't help someone because they're being empathetic, when most of us, when you're helping someone, whether it's your child, you can feel what they went through when they were a young kid, teens or older, so you can help them. It don't mean you got to make a negative.
I didn't hear.
It doesn't mean you're feeling depressed too.
I didn't hear that. Who said that?
Yeah, Pretty. Didn't you want people to quiet when you talk?
I'm sorry.
Don't apologize, Jim. He's been playing that card all day.
Yeah, let me tell
I
you.
was just asking the question. Who said that? Because I didn't hear nobody say that.
I enjoy my donuts. Let me just get what I need to say.
You ain't give us no donuts. So what?
No, the white man put tariffs on them. I was trying to get them imported, but they put tariffs on them. But what I'm saying is that empathy can give you a greater sense of sympathy. Like knowing trying to feel what someone's going through can help you be more sympathetic. Just because you have an empathy doesn't mean you can help someone resolve an issue. You could be empathetic or not be empathetic. You can still help someone resolve an issue, but it helps a lot if you're being empathetic to try to think about what they be going through to give them a better resolution and go, hey, I've been there before. I demonstrated these emotions and made this decision. You can feel those things, but don't make a negative reaction out of those things. It's perfectly fine to try to feel like someone else is going through.
That's not how that works.
It is how it works. I was in mental health for 15 years. So who else has been on mental health for 15 years? Because everybody likes using their credentials. How long you been in mental health? Who's been on mental health here? Who helped kids?
Why were you institutionalized that long?
I couldn't give my love for donuts, man. I was addicted to sugar.
That shit is addictive.
Well, for all the dumbasses who keep saying that like empathy is something that's just made up, literally all words and all concepts are things that are just made up. So the fact that you guys think, it's just made up,
because Charlie Kirk said it is right. That's to me because Charlie Kirk said you don't need empathy. Now it's right. Now it's the law and it's concrete. That's crazy.
Oh no.
Can I say something? Okay, so this adds some more context to what he was actually talking about. So it says that he was talking about the political climate. He said that he feels basically empathy leads to policy-driven feelings and not logic when people are doing political things. And people are not using logic because they're so empathetic to certain situations, people that have done crime, people that have done things or poor choices that is blurring their logic because they're so empathetic for them. So that's why he made that comment.
You don't think?
I mean, I can agree with that to some point. Like
that eye for an eye and putting yourself in someone's situation so the same thing doesn't happen to you. Like live by the sword, die by the sword. I think it's the perfect thing to do is to think about when you giving sentences or initiate a punishment or whatever you decide to do. Thinking about it happening to you is the best way to create solutions and do conflict resolution as well too. To think about what would happen.
Sometimes though, because
I'm about to land. I swear I'm about to land. I swear I'm about to land. First, Lord have mercy. If I want to shoot somebody, I got to think about if somebody, what if somebody can shoot me, depending on what I'm doing.
Women get half the time men get.
Did you think about that before committing the crime?
Well, no, there's a difference in what you're saying because, like, when it comes to legislation, it is true that, like, you don't want to. If we're talking about somebody who had somebody who got shot by somebody, right? That you don't want that person coming up with legislation for what like type of punishment should be given to this person. That's literally why we've made it to where you can't deal with it yourself anymore. We have the government, a third party, deal with it in a rational way for you because we don't want people who are emotional and know what this is like and want to go and like avenge justice on this person. Like, we don't want that to happen. So the entire idea of the government doing crime and justice is the fact that we want an unemotional, rational third party dealing with it from the outside instead of from a first person stance.
My question is, so I hear this all the time, especially during election season, especially with us as melanated people. I hear this term all the time that we vote emotional and not rational or logical. Do y'all agree with that? That a lot of people vote on emotions and not logic.
People vote on vibes.
I think most people vote on emotions.
And see, this is that's what he was talking about. People making political decisions on emotions and not logic.
Well, it makes sense. So, like, if there's something that affects your life personally, you're gonna vote for those things that affects you personally.
This is why no one wants you on a jury.
And that might not be the most like rational or logical thing for the whole country, but that's like how you're gonna vote. Like, if you're like a sexual assault victim or something, and there's like a person running who's going really hard on like trying to find sex crimes and shit like that, like, you might vote for that person because you've been through that shit and that's something that you really care about. That's probably what he's talking about.
Right, but if you're sorry, Ghost, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, yeah, that's pretty much it.
So if somebody says, okay, well, this candidate is particularly driving this political campaign towards like said example, right? Mm-hmm. Whatever it is, and it drives you emotionally. You're like, yes, that person's going to take care of this thing, and they're that's their whole campaign. But then every other policy and speaking point that this person speaks is like Yahtzee propaganda and something off the wall, but you're like, but they're going to take care of this one thing that bothers me so much. That's why it fucks you up.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's necessarily the best thing. I'm just saying it makes sense why people do vote that way. But in my opinion, most people just vote on vibes. They don't even fucking care about legislation. They're just like fucking memes 100%. And like, oh, like fucking statements and shit. And
yeah, most people are politically fucking ignorant and just dumb as fuck. So yeah, it's usually just along party lines, down ballot, whether it be Republican or Democratic or whatever, right? I think
Donald Trump's the president right now.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Most people don't.
It's
know
a vibe.
What the fuck they're talking about. They're voting based on vibes. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you voted Biden, then we can say the same thing. But I don't want to have that argument right now. So what I'm saying is this, right?
Well, he ain't got 2 impeachments and convictions though.
I mean,
when
you don't have 2 impeachments and convictions.
When y'all say emotional, not logical, it's like y'all actually choosing not to be illogical. It's like you want to think. Oh no, you're thinking how. You vote for the candidate that thinks like you and cares about what you care about. So you're using emotions and you're using logic, because if that's the truth, then he should be treated a certain way. If you have 2 impeachments and 36 convictions and you get in president go, you know what? We're not even addressing that right now.
What if you have dementia?
Well, we could look at that and say debatable.
If he was black and Mexican, y'all would want that to be. Y'all know y'all would want that to be addressed. If he wasn't a white American,
why are you making it about race?
We could just look at their presidential debate. We could just look at their presidential debate and see what Trump said versus what Biden said, even in his old fucking age. Biden was half dying, and he was literally talking about policy, legislation, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, Trump was just talking about cats and dogs and Haitians and fucking retarded, bullshit. He didn't mention one policy the entire debate. Biden did.
1 second, friends. I just want to say something. Fantastic is next. And I'll say this. The sick part, too, is very telling. When Biden was all dying and couldn't talk and all crazy, everybody was like, oh, look at him. And then Donald Trump is doing exactly the same, and everybody like, yeah.
No, but a fantastic. Everybody.
We hear the end of Mr. Fantastic.
Democrats and Republicans, liberals could be like, man, he need to get up out of there. Like he can't talk.
Well, I can.
Of course. But...
So, hold on, just real quick. So first off, Bill Clinton was impeached, right? And I think people have a poor understanding of what an impeachment means. Impeachment means simply, hey, the Congress brought some shit up against you and said, hey, we should look into fucking getting you removed from office. Okay, who gives a fuck if he was impeached twice? Okay,
well, it's a charge, and then the Senate does the conviction.
Charge. Well, who cares? And Congress fucking votes on the shit. Who cares? Gives a fuck. Okay,
right? What about the 34 convictions? What about that?
So the 34 convictions the 34 convictions is when it's purposely been they're still doing a report now that it's found that you literally weaponized the motherfucking highest level of fucking United States government against this man, and you found convicted him of some bullshit. Right, to the point of where now you're even having to go back on the shit, and they're looking into it with the same DA that put charges against Trump for the same thing is now under investigation because he found out to be doing the same shit. So then, if we want to be fair, hold on. If we're gonna talk about it, let's just be fair. Let's not act like Trump was not targeted, and the whole purpose of the convictions was for him not to be able to run. For him not to be able to be president again.
If that's the case, when they convicted him, why didn't they put him in jail then? They convicted him of 34 felonies. Why didn't they put him in jail?
Because they couldn't put him in jail.
Why? Yes, they could have. It held a sentence of over 20 years. They could have put him in jail. They didn't. Yeah. And they went with the weakest case, which was just like white collar crimes, when they could have been getting him on fucking racketeering. They went with the weakest one first, and they convicted him of it. And then didn't sentence him.
No. Can we got him on racketeering? Hold on, Patty. Can we? This is what we say. Y'all not. If we say the same corrupt regime that put Biden in office or Barack Obama in office and kept up Trump from winning, can we say the same thing when he wins and goes, hey, if they so corrupt, how did he win? It's so many contradictions. If it was corrupt and he didn't win, it is because they'll say it was corrupt. Just like when he lost, it's like, oh, it was rigged. So how isn't it rigged when he wins? That's all I'm saying. Y'all not consistent.
Just 1 second. Go 1 second. Let's just Sarah say goodbye because she has to leave.
Thank you.
And then you got it.
Tomato.
No,
thank you very much, Sarah. You see, We behave well today.
No, you guys are awesome. This was a fun panel. Tom, I really do like you. I don't hate you, but you are a little bitch though.
Stop being racist, Sarah. Stop being
I still
racist.
think you're a bitch, but I
Tom,
like
at least
you.
they don't tell you to go back to Africa. So you're all right.
Hey, Tom, I'm going.
She couldn't contend with any of my points, so I'm happy with the way.
Hey,
it's
Tom,
going.
we are going to change your name to Sarah the Racist Tomato. We're
You know,
going to do it right
they
now.
would have called you something else in the 50s, Tom. They would have called you something
We got
else.
you, Tom. Don't worry about it.
But no, Tom's over here like
Go back to
surging my
Sweden.
chat, trying to defend himself from my chat, and it's like,
Race
get in your own
traitor.
chat, Tom. Worry about your own chat.
Oh, I'm typing in everybody's chats. It's not just yours. I type in everybody's
He knows
chats.
my chat's the best fucking chat, and they fucking win every time. My chat has roasted all y'all's asses all night. It's been great. It's been swell. Fatty and Ali, thank you so kindly for having me again. I do enjoy coming over here. It makes for a fun time.
God
It's
damn,
nice.
land the plane.
It's nice to finally be a panelist and not have to be running the clown show and being one of the clowns instead. It's been great. I love all of you. Thank you so kindly. Fuck off.
See you later. Now we have a new Pokemon. But like going back to the topic, Fantastic is you're right. Is for example the PDF file shit. When people thought Bill Clinton was on that shit, oh my god, I can't believe y'all. And then Donald Trump is included, and everybody like, do we really are against this? Is he really on the list? I think like this is what we're talking about. Feelings is rules for thee, not for me. If I feel something about the person, I will ignore it. But if I don't feel something about the person, now I can do a logical assessment and say that that's probably the worst thing that happens. And I don't know if you have noticed, everybody is like, okay, we already talked about Charlie Kirk. We already got the dude. Can we go back talking about the Epstein files? And there's a lot of people that unfortunately are in denial because their feelings, they invested so much emotionally to the dude that if the dude gets even close to being what they thought, it's going to fuck up their identity because that's what they are for whatever reason. So we're going to talk about it in the future. Go ahead, Fantastic, and interrupt because I stopped you, and then we go from there.
No, yeah, I was just saying, man. Listen, all this stuff is here, man, and like I said, the political arguments will always just be a never-ending thing. At the end of the day, regardless of whatever the fuck happened, he's the president. Okay, he first and last. Well, this is the second time and last time. You don't get 3 times. You don't get 3 chances.
You said
all of the shit that people. It's the end of the world and all this different shit. America is doing a lot better than what it was a year ago. Just saying, the amount of money we're spending on other countries, the Doge shit cleared up a whole bunch of the wasteful spending and money laundering. He's pretty much staying true to and fulfilling all of the things that the policy y'all claim he didn't have. No tax on tips, something that Biden didn't do or what's name didn't do. Free no tax on overtime. The tariff shit is working. No, y'all motherfuckers shut the fuck up about that, right? Tariffs are working.
How are they working?
What do you mean how are they working?
How are they working? They are higher than ever, meaning the American people are paying more than ever.
We got to be brainwashed, right?
Like more than ever in what? Hold on.
One second. Let me answer. Every time he comes out and announces, we got the biggest tariffs ever for the first time. All that means is the American people are paying the most they ever paid in tariffs in history. It comes from your pocket. How is that winning?
First of all, which tariff deal are we even talking about?
How is that winning?
So again, if the prices of goods compared to before are lower, how is the fucking tariffs being negative?
Because they come from your pocket.
You're talking about overall, but the things, the actual items that he tariffed. Hold on, wait. You're talking about overall, but the actual items that he tariffed.
Yes, overall. That's all that matters. No, not right there. You already conceded. You already conceded.
Everybody made a huge deal about gas prices and prices of eggs. They didn't make a big deal about overall. They were talking about very specific necessities that they needed. Clothing has gone up. Household items have gone up. The toys, food, auto parts, like all these things have gone up on average for those specific sectors. And other things were already going down because Biden had just put into place a bunch of legislation to deal with the inflation from COVID.
Hey, Fatty, I got to run though too. So Can you hear me?
You can run. You can run.
I probably have to leave pretty
Since
soon.
when you can run, Marte?
No. I have a sinus infection, so I wanted to get on and be a good sport, man. But I thank you guys for
I
letting me.
appreciate you, sir.
Stop being a
That's why-
victim, Marte.
I was actually looking like, why is he so quiet today?
Stop being a victim. Don't take medicine.
Hey, Marte, pray to God. Don't go get medicine, man. Just
All right, I'll do that, man. Yeah,
I appreciate you. I see you later,
man.
All right, guys.
I see you
Later,
later.
Martin.
So my bad, y'all are right. It raised 3%. Overall goods raised by 3%. Right?
Yes.
3%.
So if
Yeah, are you saying that's not significant?
Yeah, I'm saying it's not significant at all.
But
3%.
I mean, wasn't the whole problem the economy and prices?
Inflation.
that's underinflate. Yeah, that's literally like you have to compare it with inflation.
So, but we talk about inflation. That's another thing. So inflation is lower than what it was before.
No. If your overall income doesn't grow 3% and things are 3% more expensive, it's going to make a dent in your pocket.
Oh,
absolutely.
If $3 breaks you, the economy wasn't your problem,
sir. But that's not the point. If you have $1,000 or no.
Where was this attitude like
Wait,
the
what?
entire last election when everybody's talking about groceries and everything else? Like inflation was already on a downward spiral, but people voted for Trump because of prices, right?
It wasn't on
The
a
United
downward
States,
Yes, inflation has.
The United States fixed inflation before any other country in the world. The whole world dealt with record-breaking inflation from COVID, and the United States recovered before any other country. Yet everybody
Because you
still
printed
acted
the
like
most
we did
money.
a horrible job with it.
Inflation was on a downward trend since Biden's.
Because you printed the most fucking money in the history of the United States of America. What the fuck are you talking about? Obviously,
that was one of the ways that they felt.
That's
fixed it
it's not
faster than
fixing
everybody
it.
else.
So it's called. So
Look
you
at the
don't-
numbers. Look at them numbers
Did they
by
fix it?
month.
Did they fix it? Yes. Look at the
Y'all
numbers.
need
Did they
help
fix it?
together, right? So just give me a second, and both of y'all can try and double team me. So I'm gonna say this, right? So when you print more money out of thin air, right, it's gonna dig you out of a hole. And if you really listen to economists, they'll tell you that the biggest issue and problem. This isn't something that started with Biden. It started way back in what, Obama or Bush, right? 08, because they never let the true thing happen. And the shit crashed the way it should to reset everything. All you did now is motherfucking quantitative easing, print more money. So if you're gonna count that as fixing the problem, Trump can fix the problem tomorrow and print more fucking money. What are we saying?
That's not what we're saying. Inflation went way up during COVID because there was a lot of money given to the people, right? All the fucking COVID payments, all the stimulus checks, blah, 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 all this money printing you're talking about. Inflation went way up during COVID. And then Biden came into office after, he came in 2020, right? And then I think since like 2022, there's been a downward trend in inflation steadily all the way up until today. It's still like going down, but it started under Biden.
So
And on top of that, imports also have a big part of inflation. And if you lower the amount of imports that are coming in and lower our purchasing power, that also adds. So if you're able to increase imports while printing a lot of money, this is a way of quantitative easing. But the imports are lowering because they're rising tariffs. So it's.
Damn, everybody lost guess. I have a last question before we close it out. And once again, thank you very much for everybody that is supporting the show. Will Canali, the host. I'm the guest. I'm just here so I don't get fined. Last question, and then we wrap it up. Are men still expected to be protectors, or is that an outdated gender role? On the situation where we saw on the train, subway, whatever, what is your opinion? Are you expecting men to be protectors and to go out of their way like they did on yesteryear to protect women because there's their job and their duty? Or you think it's an outdated, you shouldn't do it, it is what it is? What's your thoughts?
I mean, I wouldn't. Generally, it's going to be men. Obviously, men on average are just going to be bigger and stronger than women. But if I see, like, if Destiny is getting attacked and Ronda Rousey is standing there, honestly, I say it's on fucking Ronda Rousey to go do something about it. But it's going to be like, yes, whoever's most capable, I think, should do something. I think in the case of the train stabbing, again, it didn't seem as though everybody even knew what had happened until she fell over, and that was even after like the other guy had walked off, and the people were like moving away. But yes, I would say generally, if people know what's happening, they see what's happening, and they have the capability of protecting somebody, yeah, they ought to protect them. That's part of the social contract.
Yeah, I think in general, being a human, like if you have the ability to help somebody, I think that's the right thing to do. But I also wouldn't like put it on men to like risk their lives for like every random stranger or anything like that. But I do think just like as a human responsibility, if you are able to help somebody, even if it's just calling 911 or assisting them or something, like I think that's just a human thing for everybody to do. Like women with children, women with other women, whatever.
Tom, what is the other part of the social contract? Because you mentioned one part. So what would be the reciprocating part of that?
That other people are willing to protect you as well.
But you were specifically talking about gendered, like men helping women. So what would be the return on
Glenn,
that?
you think you're owed some pussy if you save a chick?
Oh,
No,
here we
just
go.
Well, I said it's about whoever's capable.
yours,
So if
bro.
Ronda Rousey's there, then Ronda Rousey ought to do that.
Yeah, he literally didn't.
At
say
least
that.
the end job. Hey, can I get an end
It
job?
better be a really dangerous situation.
What am I gonna get if I save your life right now? Just
Can I get a
wondering.
massages, please, or something like that? Or like
can we negotiate this real quick?
It's kind of a dick move, but I mean, damn, if you save somebody's life, I mean, how many dudes you fuck for free for absolute nothing? I mean,
There's like expectation that men are supposed to meet, right? Then is there an expectation that women are supposed to meet?
Now you're gonna have dudes running out in the street like, "Oh my gosh, you almost stepped in front of that car."
That's the point, right? For example, this would happen a lot of times on our neighborhoods, right? You do something as a social contrast to an old lady, to a woman, something like that, and she says, "Oh, I am what do you call the suing person? A person that sues things?
Plaintiff.
So's?
Yeah, the person that like when you have something on your clothes that it's ripped, they go ahead and they fix it, right?
A seamstress.
Yes, like the person would say, "Oh, where are you from? Oh, you're from there. This is my specialty. Next, come to me. This is on me. Come to me every time you need something. This is on me." Like woman kind of went out of her way to say, "I might not give you sex because I'm not your woman, but I have a restaurant. I have something. I am a part of this community. I am. So if you need something, you come to me and I prepare you nice food. Like today, all you get is when you get home, send me a message so I know you're safe." Even the woman that we're fucking are not doing nothing, let alone the random woman on the street. So Glenn, in my opinion, is right. I'm not expecting even a woman to say, "Hey, thank you for saving me. Let me exchange information so I can, I don't know, make something.
Make us
invite you over for dinner or something. I mean, like,
send me a cash app. Send me like something."
People do that
not
sometimes.
even that, right? I think it's and we just seen this thing where people have actually intervened, and not this situation specifically, but domestic violence situation where men have intervened, and then both of them jump on that man, or worse, that man intervenes and he loses his life.
Yeah.
So
I
I
think
think we're worried about the guy at the bar that got stabbed.
Yeah, I think we're being unfair and unreasonable, but I think Ghost acknowledged it to where you're expecting a regular smuggler, everyday man that has his own family, has his own responsibility, has his own children, to put his life on the line for a complete and total stranger that won't even show up to your funeral if you die. Again, I have the right to choose whether or not to fucking help you.
Right.
All right.
But
If
you can call like 911 or something, right?
But yeah,
This
I'm
is
all for
like
that.
lots of people don't even do that.
No,
But
Ghost, I'll put you on that. Ghost, I'm saying do what you can. Of course, don't just walk by and turn a blind eye. Don't do that. I think that was the most fucked up part for the girl is instead of people coming to her and at least seeing something, everybody ran away. Everybody dispersed.
Mr. Fantastic, but you pointed it out.
No, go ahead,
Mr. Fantastic, you pointed it out like, okay, you had a family, you have your own responsibilities, right? What if you're a single guy? Why would a single guy want to jeopardize his potential future in the same thing? Like I get a married guy because he has accountability and he has things he has to be taken care of, but single guys like, well, why would I want to get involved? I might not make it out of there. Now I might not get a family.
I was just giving that scenario because that's like the thing, but the same thing. I have the right to fucking choose whether I'm gonna risk my life or not for anybody. You know, so I'm with you.
That's what Ghosty was saying too.
Yes, so fantastic. Can we go to a clear example that might this is a example. Titanic. Actually, let's go to Titanic. It's a burning building. It's a burning building. If we are
Fatty, I think that's different. So hold on. I think a catastrophic situation, earthquake, natural disaster is totally different from direct violence from a human being.
Yes, that's fair.
So if we're of course women and children first.
Why?
Well, that's just the way it is.
I just bought the PlayStation game, $70.
Yeah, you just bought it, but I think at the end of the day, your instincts are gonna kick in for the most part, and you're gonna be like, hey, fuck it, I'm gonna save them too.
So
I mean, listen, I ain't saying, Fatty, listen, hear me out. I ain't saying don't give up your spot on the raft, but hey, I got 2 knees you can sit on my lap. You feel what I'm talking about, bitch? We gonna make it work. I'm not finna go down.
So one second. Hey, Glenn, let's do this because this is, and then you can ask the question. Let's go back to the motherfucking Titanic. All of us. This is all of us in this panel.
What was the lady's name? Rose was her name?
Yes.
She was a bitch.
Leave Rose alone.
Wait. I used to think that too, but she jumped back onto the boat to stay with him, right? So I used to think the door thing was really fucked up too. I used to say fuck Rose, but the reason it was just her is because when they both tried to get on it, it couldn't stabilize, so it had to be.
They could have taken turns.
Hold on, real quick.
Yeah, I guess.
They actually tested the theory. They actually tested it. Ghost. People were so mad about this shit. Ghosty. I'm sorry, Ghosty.
Yes, Ghosty.
You can literally go on motherfucking YouTube and see them recreate this shit to where both of them could have made it.
That's what I thought too, but I guess in the movie, that's how it.
No. Hey, Derrick Rose didn't do nothing. He didn't do nothing.
Not Derrick Rose. Rose from the Titanic.
No.
Karen Rose.
No. 1 second. This is actually because we are going to do this exercise before we go, right? Is all of us on the Titanic? There's 3 spots. Is Red, T, and Ghosty going first? Or anybody saying, hey, man?
Them days are over.
Them days is over.
My argument is I'm tiny. I'm super tiny, so I can probably fit with a bunch of other people.
I am 5'1" and 127 pounds.
I'm 5'1" too. Yeah.
I will say
if she's not your woman and they're not your kids.
No.
If they're not your woman and they're not your kids, why do you care if they make it?
I want to say.
1 second. Because we know that, especially if Patty and Ghosty said they're small, we can just yeet him out of the seat and get it, right? That's fair.
Me and Patty are going to survive this motherfucker.
Even if she jumps under, you're like, oh, they're fine.
Survival to the fittest. Survival to the fittest.
Great till you're dying.
So I might.
Hope you got guns.
I'm a fight for the seat.
Let's one by one. Ali, are you giving the seat to the ladies? Or are you saying you see it's been a long day without you, my friend?
Today? You ain't talking about yesterday, you talking about today.
Today.
They out of luck. unless it's mine, you out of luck. Unless
can you tell us who you would take out of the panel?
Oh shit.
Who I would take? You talk no. Like
who would you? You got 3 spots.
Who has children? Who has children here?
This is like fuck, marry, kill, but just no.
Man, I'm about to be racist. I'm about to be racist. I'm taking Fantastic and Fatty.
No. There's nothing we're doing here.
There's black women on the panel. Why did you choose the guys? You're racist and
when we find other women, let me tell you why.
Sitting on my shoulder.
I'm gonna be on Fantastic shoulders, baby.
When we find other races of women, like, hold on, Fatty.
Ali, no, there's another question.
Like Noah's Ark, right? We're gonna be able to make all races.
No, it's not. If the 3 ladies got to the seat first, and you got there, you're like, oh shit, Tina, Patty, or Ghosty. Who are you eating out of that kid?
Jesus Christ.
I'm 6 foot tall. I'll put up a fight.
Oh shit!
You better go down there and get him back.
If any of you guys have children, I would give my spot so that people could have their parents.
You lying, Ghost, you lying like a mug. You ain't about to get your spot up for no.
Tina said you
I'm
better
not.
be ready to fight.
I also wouldn't leave my husband on the
You better
boat.
close them fists for Athena.
No way.
Nah, I'm trying to make it back. If it so, there's more women. There's more women. What we getting to, right?
You hope so. Otherwise, you and Fantastic and Fatty gonna have a hell of a time.
Is there more women when we get to that destination?
You don't know. You don't know. You got to roll those dice.
I'm going to make it difficult for y'all, right? I'm going to make it difficult for y'all. It's all
Look, Mr. Fantastic is about to jump into the ocean. Look at that facial expression.
Fantastic is jumping on the ocean. I'm going to make it difficult.
He's like, I'm not going with this dude.
I'm going to make it difficult for the men. The boat is full of women, kids, and everybody's looking at you. Everybody, like 300 people, just looking at you. They are looking at you like, damn, you're doing this shit. Like you're doing it.
Look back at him.
We went rogue.
Hey, like, hey, y'all think? Hey, you think getting Athena up out of this is gonna be a problem?
I don't see nothing.
If it's kids, hold on. Trick love the kids. If there's some kids though, I'll give them the seat. If there's some kids, man.
Bro, listen, bro, we gonna make that shit work, bro. Fuck that. Listen, man. Hey,
is anybody on the panel that is
how I
willing
feel.
to give the seat to the woman?
I gotta move on to the next thing. I gotta move on to the next thing. I appreciate y'all.
You gotta answer the question.
Hey, Tom, you're not answering the question.
Tommy, you gotta answer this question.
Tommy, you're running. Tommy's running.
Wait,
That's
what is-
crazy.
Yeah, look,
This
at
is
that. He
4
tried to get away
hours.
from this question.
What is the question? What was the question?
It's like FMK, except only Ks.
We are on the Titanic, and there's only 3 seats. These 3 women are on the seats, and you have the chance to take one of them to save yourself. Okay? Are you taking one of them and fighting for the spot? Or are you saying, appreciate y'all, I see you later, sacrifice yourself?
I mean, Athena said she's 6 foot, so I'm probably gonna sit on her lap, and I think we'd be all right.
Come on.
I mean, if up there was,
Making it
with
work.
Ghost, I mean, Tom and Ghosty and Petty could probably combine into like one person. It looks.
Yeah, they tried to
Athena,
run
can
away.
I sit on your lap? Are we good?
That was stretched,
Like,
Tom.
Yeah,
we got 100.
Athena says I can sit on her lap. We're gonna be all right. I got a whole lot of junk in the trunk, a lot of cushion there, so it's not gonna be a problem. So we're gonna be.
She's gonna throw you off.
Wow.
Bye-bye.
Damn, that's
Yeah, we
crazy.
gotta
Hey, Tom, thank
introduce
you very
white
much
man
for thank you very much for being here and having a lot of junk in the trunk.
He ain't learned from Titanic.
That's what he said.
Oh, do you change your answer now that you hear about Tom's junk? Do you want to bring maybe Tom instead of one of the other black guys?
Hell no. Ain't no brother.
All right, appreciate y'all having me on. Y'all check me out, Tom 40 Show on YouTube.
You, Tom, I appreciate you.
Later.
That's a very rough way to say goodbye. I will say goodbye too. Because this is not my show.
And he still said no. He still said Tom's.
I'm here so I don't get fined. So I will give you my answer and then I'll bounce, right? First, thank you very much for having me, El Canali, on your show. Thank you very much to the guests that came by. I will say this. If people are not watching, I'm taking. Oh my god!
He's just slinging people. He just slinging people.
Because I know myself. I'm like, if people are watching, I'm going to do the.
I need all 3 of these seats.
If people are not watching, I will kick that $70 and just kick it to the water.
Oh yeah, all the old people should just stay on the boat. Like,
It got dark. Wow, it got dark. It just got dark.
Isn't that logical though? I mean, like, come
Not
on.
wrong.
My goodness.
Hey, if you the cutoff,
They're
old.
old.
So
If you
Ghosty,
70 or older,
old
hey,
people-
what are we
yeah,
doing
no,
out here?
you see?
Old people, they're going out the door anyways.
No,
You know.
That's what I'm saying.
No. So this is the question. This is the question. No. This is the question. This is you on a fire, and there's grandma.
Me.
God.
Oh, hey, it's y'all on your prime, and there's grandma. The firefighter comes in and says, "I can only save one." Which one goes?
The younger person.
Grandma, you lived a good life. You better stay in there and cook.
Wow, you letting grandma
You let
die?
grandma go, Glenn?
Hey, free
Yeah,
I
there you
love
cremation.
you,
go.
Grandma.
Hey,
Oh no!
If I didn't wear a mask during the coop, I'm not going to freeze to death in the
I'm
ocean.
gonna call her and I'm gonna tell her I said I picked me.
Oh my God! You letting Grandma die? That's crazy.
free cremation, man. She already halfway
Hey,
there,
she
baby.
lived a
Hey,
good life.
Oh my
hey, I'm out.
God.
Hey,
Grandma's 96 as it is.
I
Grandma
appreciate
can't
y'all. I
remember
see you on
shit.
the other side.
96.
Thank you very much for being here. I see y'all Sunday and next week. Ali, great show. I appreciate it. I'm Fatty, just a guest. Catch me on Rumble. I'm kidding. Maybe I'm not. See you later.
Bye, Patty.
Y'all, I truly appreciate y'all for coming through. Much respect for y'all. Do y'all have any closing remarks, man, for the show? By the way, all lives matter. Before y'all go,
Yeah, I'll say mine and get up out of here, man. Hey, Ali, thank you, brother, for having me. For the invite. Shout out to all of the non-melanated people that have some great discourse. A couple of jokes. It was a friendly back and forth, political, racial. We had a really important, good conversation. It got a little rough at times, but nothing was malicious. And hey, I think this has to happen in order for people to understand people better, because there are a lot of preconceptions and misconceptions, right? Talk to people, right? And we're not going to agree on everything, but hey, that's how, I said, that's how life works. You don't have to agree with somebody to respect them. You have to agree with somebody to like them. You don't have to agree with somebody to just have a conversation. So shout out to you, Ali, again, man, being a wonderful host, moderator, and appreciate it, man. Can't wait for the next one.
always much love to you, my brother.
For sure.
Thanks for having me, Ali.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
That was really good. That was a
really
really good discussion.
Especially the white people. I really appreciate y'all for coming, man.
Hey, thank you for being a great.
When white people come, we feel important, man.
As a 5% North African, I was tardy because of my 5% blackness was
Oh my
late.
goodness.
So I'll try to be more white next time.
Hey, thank you for being a gracious host and putting up with my antics, Ali. Salute to the women.
Hey, I got love. I really do got love for you, man. You know I got love for you, man.
Yeah. And shout out to the Untouchables.
And I'm sorry for yelling. I didn't mean to yell.
No, you're not. Hey, you showed your true colors.
She was sweet the whole time.
I was quiet the whole time. Everybody was meow. I didn't say a word.
You know what? When you told her to stop interrupting you, you know she did. She said sorry.
Yeah.
And she fell right into her feminine.
Oh no, Red.
Instantly.
All right, I'm out. Thank you for having me.
Mostly you learned something.
Huh?
You should
What'd you
learn
say?
something.
Now she know I mess with her. We love Red. We love Petty Red big time. I think that's what you got to say. Peace out.
Peace.
I got so much to say, but it's late. So
Good or
just
bad?
no, just I always got shit to say. Literally always.
Okay. Did I hit the wrong? I hit the wrong button. I'm sorry. You know I didn't mean to do that.
No, you're ending it. I just didn't want to leave.
Well, I gotta still finish the super chats and the unless you want to stay through the super chats and the cash apps.
I'll stay and listen to what they gotta say.
Okay. Shout out to my brother Player One. Salute Ali. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Remember 11 months. Thank you so much, my brother. My Player One gifted us with a membership. Carl Anderson gifted us with 5 memberships. Much love to y'all. You know we got to hold on, man. Where Fatty be? Fatty be moving some of these, but thank you for the membership. And then what's now 23G with the $5 super chat. Shout out to the panel and the Untouchables. Much love to you, my brother. Let me see. And then we got, oh no, I hate when this thing do this. Chris Reed with the $2 super chat. What demographic is going to be at the funeral? I wonder what that means. Black and white people are both going to be at the funeral. Black and white people both like Charlie Kirk. Like it's like mixed feelings on both sides. There's a lot of white people that was going against Charlie Kirk, black people too. And then on the other end, there's a lot of black people and white people who supported Charlie Kirk. Rude Murder Crab with the $5 super chat. The people on the right using this to push ideas on and actions Charlie opposed are worse than the idiots on the left celebrating. I don't think you should celebrate anybody's death. Misty Blue gifted us with, well, I'm not going to say that, depending on what they did. So I'm gonna take that one back. I think when we say that, we just be talking. Like anybody who did something to some kids, like I think they gotta go. Shout out to Misty with one membership. Much love to you. One gifted membership. Much love to you. Hope whoever got it, man, y'all keep it. Tony Golden with the $2 super chat. Can we contextualize CK statements? LOL. I feel you, my brother. I feel you. AAL Wine 722 said with the $5 super chat, ask Fatty how and where the whistle is when there is no facts or points to his argument. Boy, we gotta get some of y'all on the panel. Y'all want to come after my boy Fatty, man. So who want to debate Fatty? SKC with a $2 super chat just got here. Has Ali been crying all day? I don't know if I was crying all day, but I did cry enough, and I can't even. Where in the world? I can't even. Now I can't even move this, and I'm gonna keep crying some more. Let's see. Plumpy with the gifted channel membership. Much love to you. I think that might be on the other side. Degenerate with the $5 super chat. Just supporting. Much love to you, my brother. Always much love to you. One of the greatest contributors to the Untouchable super chat, man. Always love seeing you, my brother. Always showing support. Robert Platinum with the $2 super chat. Another one. If you don't hit the like button, you a racist. That's true. That's true. If you don't hit the like button, you hate us.
Oh man, hate.
That's absolutely facts. Plumpy again gifted another membership. Thank you so much for the love. Let me see. AL Wine 722 with the $5 super chat. I want you to ask them if they can handle the facts, or is it victimhood that makes them a bunch of kiddies? That must be on the other side. We gonna read them. Mike Ball with the $5 super chat. It's FBA, Sarah. Much love to you. And then Tootie Bug with the $5 super chat. Count the waves down in Africa. And then Robert Platinum again comes back with a $2 super chat. If any woman turns me down, she's a racist, period. Yes, I agree with that. And then SK with a $2 super chat. Dang, is that racist right there? Or them banana peels? Is that Athena? Is that racist? Banana peel? Is that to us? Dang, boy. Is that y'all that rate is banana peels? Dang, boy, they hit the people with the banana peels. Maybe I'm tripping, right?
I don't know. I think that might have been a jab.
Just a jab. Hey, Mandy Kush with the $10 super chat. They fuel the divide because victimhood is their problem. Power. It's crazy. Athena, why is it then when black people complain we victims, but when white people complain they're patriots? Can you tell me that? Why is it like that? There's the God-given fearing right to complain, and they're patriots when they talk about what they deserve in America. And why are black people not those same Americans? Why are we victims when we complain? You can think on it. Go ahead, think on it. It ain't got nothing to do with race, though, right? T.O. with a $5 super chat. We have 340 million people in the U.S., Canada, 41 million. Much love to one of the legends on the Untouchables, man. One of the biggest contributors as well, too. And then my brother T.O. comes back again with the $5 super chat. More dense areas generally have a higher crime rate per capita. That's true. That's true, my brother. And then T.O. comes back with another $5 super chat. Higher violent crime per capita. Yes, sir. Thank you so much for sending that $5 just to correct that. And then T.O. again with the $5 super chat. What would Jesus do? Athena, what would Jesus do in this predicament? Would he tell black people to stop playing victims? Was Jesus black? Oh, that's another story. That's another story. That's another story. T.O. with the $5 super chat. Empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. Sympathy, feelings of pity and sorrow for someone else's misfortune. They was tearing that definition up, my brother T.O. My brother T.O. again with a $5 super chat. Respect, a feeling of deep admiration for someone or feeling elicited by their abilities, qualities, or achievements. Yes, sir. My brother T.O. again. And then my brother Freezer, aka Mr. Cooler, gifted us with 1 membership. Hold on real quick. I need to move this real quick. I don't know why I'm about to hold on real quick. Well, never mind, I can't do that. Much love to you, my brother. I don't know why the button. Hold on real quick. The buttons to scroll up and down. Well, that's all right. My brother Chuck in Tennessee with the $2 chat. Beware the reach around from Marte. Wow. Hey, Marte, they hating on you.
Hey.
And then Morgan Tristan with the $3 super chat. Thanks for having me around. I had fun. Did he come up on the panel?
No.
Did I miss something? Tio with the $5 super chat. Political gangbanging, Democrips versus Bloodisons. Politicians, no, Bloodisons. I mean, I guess that I hope I'm reading it right. Chuck in Tennessee with the $5 super chat. God bless the powered Dusty. I should sing for y'all. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. Y'all love that song, don't y'all? I like that song too. I ain't gonna lie. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me. Come on, Athena.
Don't make me sing.
You ain't gonna do it. And I proudly stand up next to her and defend her still today. You don't know the rest of the song?
I do. I'm not singing.
And I won't forget the man who died. God bless the USA. Okay, forget it. T.O. Roblutikins with the $5 super chat. I hope y'all like my voice. I'm all right. Chuck in Tennessee with the $5 super chat. Much love to you. Chuck in Tennessee again with the $5 super chat. Again, much love to you in Tennessee. I think there's a song I like. There's a song called Something in Tennessee. That's a really good song. I can't remember what it's called though, and it's not Tennessee whiskey. AAL Wine 722 with a $5 super chat for the goal. Much love to you. Drobo Not with the 5 gifted memberships, man. Truly appreciate that. Much love.
The Untouchable Empire, baby.
And then let me see. We got Shadow Dragon gifted us with another membership, one of the fellow legends, and Dark Relief, one of the biggest contributors of the Untouchables as well, too. Man, much love to y'all.
Untouchable Empire, baby.
I would hit different buttons, but for some reason I can't get to them buttons. And then my brother Chuck in Tennessee again with the $20 super chat. Hope this counts to the goals. And then Limitless Karma, $10 super chat for Athena's fine beep. I don't know, but you gotta admire her. And then let's look at the Cash App, y'all. We gotta shout out the people in the Cash App. Much love to my brother DJ Vapors with the $15 Cash App. And then Misty Blue, there's a song called Misty. It's a Misty that I really like, man. Much love to you and for supporting the Untouchables with the $5 super chat. And then Donna Sims with the show and support with the $20 super chat. And then my brother Paul with supporting the show with the 75 Cash App. Excuse me. I've been saying Cash App. I know I'm saying it wrong. Much love to you, my brother. Steve, you got any last words?
Good night.
That's it you got for the people? You ain't got nothing else for the people?
No. I think we said everything. Well, I mean, I got a lot to say, but I'm tired.
And hold on, I gotta check one more thing. I gotta see if I got one more thing. Let me see. I think I got a PayPal. I gotta check the PayPal. Is that hold on? I think we got a PayPal too. I'm trying to make sure. Hold on, real quick. And then my brother Carl Anderson with a PayPal. Much love to you, my brother. Everybody else, man, I appreciate you a lot. I hope we can keep having these conversations, whether it's discussing relationships, whether it's discussing race and politics. I think it's doing more, it's create more helpful rhetoric than destructive rhetoric, depending on who's facilitating the conversation and the structure of the conversation. I hope y'all enjoyed yourselves. We'll see you on the next one. Come to Ladies First on Sunday at 5 o'clock Eastern time. We'll see you there. Much love to y'all, man. And I appreciate y'all for coming home. I got to do something real quick. A thing to say right there. I got. Y'all, you got the spotlight. I couldn't press the buttons no more or anymore. Excuse me. I had to say it proper because white people are watching. You know, they don't like a. Again, y'all, much love for coming through. We'll see you on the